Chapter 191. A handsome man and a beautiful woman rolling on the ground madly release their hormones on the ancient battlefield, maximizing the pleasure between them to the extreme. After an unknown period of time, the music in their ears seemed to have slowed down, and the strong smell of blood filled their noses. Xiao Xiao withdrew from Yanran's mouth, propped up his head, and looked at Yanran with a doting expression. The blushing girl's hair was messy, and the blood on her lips had already coagulated. Her torn clothes hung diagonally on her shoulders. Xiao Xiao's hand couldn't help but caress her fair skin. He praised, "Yanran, you're so beautiful. I feel like I won't be able to wait until the day I marry you. When are you willing to marry me?" Yanran propped herself up and untied the braid on her head. Her head shook slightly, and her hair fluttered back and forth with her movements. Then, she gently hugged Xiao Xiao and said in all seriousness, "Good boy. I remember that we can't get married during university." Grinding teeth. A roar sounded in their ears, startling the two. Xiao Xiao and Yanran almost forgot where they were. At this moment, they turned their heads and saw that Huagang had been stabbed in the abdomen by a long sword. Behind him, a soldier was holding a machete, trying to cut off his head. Yanran anxiously shouted, "Xiao Xiao, stop them." Xiao Xiao didn't understand why they had to stop, but his mind had already given the order to stop following Yanran's shout. The formation seemed to have been paused. The soldiers maintained their original positions, not moving at all. Even their eyes stopped moving. The sword was still in Huagang's abdomen, and the machete stopped 5 centimeters away from Huagang's neck. "Yanran, what's the matter? Don't harm his life. Go and cripple his spiritual power, and turn him into an ordinary person. We cultivators also have principles. Crippling his spiritual power and driving him out of the cultivation world is already the greatest punishment. If he does anything bad in the future, let him accept the punishment of humanity." Yanran's serious and cold voice floated throughout the ancient battlefield. Huagang's abdomen was bleeding non-stop. He was already exhausted from the continuous battle. After everything stopped, Yanran's voice clearly floated into his ears. "The winner is king, the loser is a bandit. I don't need you to pity me." Xiao Xiao walked forward and looked at Huagang, who was kneeling on the ground and bleeding non-stop. He pulled out the sword from Huagang's abdomen. Huagang twitched violently, and the pain caused him to immediately kneel on the ground. Xiao Xiao circulated all the demonic energy in his body, and drew a circle in front of Huagang's abdomen. Then, his hand formed into a claw, and aimed at Huagang's dantian. A huge force sucked Huagang's stomach forward. No. But at this moment, Huagang's pleas wouldn't make Xiao Xiao and Yanran show mercy. White gas rapidly poured out of Huagang's dantian, and was completely sucked into the circle he drew by Xiao Xiao. Removing the spiritual energy was equivalent to pulling out the spiritual energy that Huagang had originally cultivated from every part of his meridians. It caused Huagang great pain, and it was as if his muscles were being pulled out and his marrow cleansed. Huagang's face was twisted, and his expression was ferocious. His eyes were desperately bulging outwards, and blood was gradually flowing out of his orifices. No matter how much he resisted, he couldn't resist the suction force from Xiao Xiao's palm. At this moment, Huagang could only sway his crooked body like a grasshopper. He couldn't jump out of Xiao Xiao's palm no matter how hard he tried. Yanran couldn't bear it for a moment, because she had also suffered the pain of losing her spiritual energy. The final result was a fate worse than death. She moved her mouth and said to Xiao Xiao, "Why don't we leave him some more?" But at this moment, Huagang suddenly touched the long sword beside him. Using the last of his strength, he directly threw the long sword in Yanran's direction. Xiao Xiao was shocked when he saw this. He wanted to save Huagang, but it was simply too late. He could only ignore Huagang, withdraw his palm, and fly in front of Yanran. With a pu sound, the long sword mercilessly pierced through Xiao Xiao's back. Yanran was shocked by this sudden change. Before she could react, Xiao Xiao had already quickly climbed up from her body. Without any more courtesy, he slapped Huagang to the ground. Xiao Xiao's eyes burned with anger. "What did Yanran do to you? You have to treat her like this time and time again, and in the end, you even want to take her life. You are the ungrateful devil. Yenran is like this. You can't show her any mercy. She will only be a disaster if we keep her." After saying this, Qiao Xiao ignored the long sword on his shoulder and quickly removed all the spiritual energy from Hua Gang's body. After that, Hua Gang no longer had the strength to resist and slowly fell into a coma. As for Qiao Xiao, the demonic aura on his body was damaged because of the sword. He could no longer control the demonic sky array. The moment he fainted, the scenery in front of him changed, and the three of them returned to the back of the mountain. "Quick, quick! These two patients need blood transfusions. One of them is very serious, and his vital signs are not strong. Prepare to electrocute him." 2 hospital beds were quickly pushed into the emergency room. A girl who was usually cold was now full of anxiety. She wanted to go in, but she was stopped outside the operating room. The only thing she could do was to ask the nurse, "Do you want to draw my blood? I can donate blood for them." However, the nurse didn't have time to pay attention to her. "Wait outside first. I will call you if I need you." After saying this, the nurse followed her into the emergency room. The light in the emergency room was turned on. Yenron's heart was filled with fear. If she still had her spiritual energy, she could definitely stop Qiao Zhao's bleeding. Looking at the large amount of blood flowing out, her heart trembled. She really didn't want to care about Hua Gang, but she couldn't get over her conscience. She informed Little Six and the others to come and send the 2 of them to the hospital. The only thing she could do now was to wait outside. "Sister Yenran, what happened? Did Hua Gang make things difficult for you again?" Hua Gang and Qiao Xiao had a duel. Hua Gang lost his spiritual energy and his abdomen was injured. Qiao Xiao was stabbed in the chest in order to save me. Yenran buried her face in her hands after saying this. "Don't worry too much. The medical standards are high now, so there shouldn't be a problem. However, Sister Yenran, why does this Hua Gang still want to save him? Is he waiting to harm you in the future?" Little Six said angrily. "He already has no spiritual energy. You know that us cultivators can't harm human lives. Sister Yenran, you are too righteous. Although faith is important, do you still need to be so kind to this person who has done so many bad things? Even in the human world, he would be shot to death. I have never believed that Hua Gang would become like this. He used to grow up with me, and his nature is very pure. Although he has done so many wrong things, I just feel that he has become too evil." Yenran closed her eyes and leaned back against the wall. Little Six recalled the scene when they went on a mission together. Hua Gang was like a big brother taking care of him. When there was danger, he would always rush to the front. It was indeed as Yenran said. From the bottom of his heart, he also didn't dare to believe it. But things changed too quickly, so fast that before he could digest it, he was already unable to control it. Little Six didn't speak anymore. Together with Yenran, he leaned his head against the wall of the hospital, waiting for the doctor's verdict. Both of them are very lucky. Their main organs weren't damaged, and they were sent to the hospital in time. We have already given blood transfusions to both of them. The one with the chest injury can be discharged immediately. The one with the abdomen injury needs to be sent to the ICU for further observation. He has lost too much blood, so we have already given him a blood transfusion. The amount of blood is very large, and almost all of the blood in his body has been replaced. If he is discharged in 24 hours, he will be discharged." The doctor's words made Yenran and Little Six breathe a sigh of relief. Seeing Qiao Xiao being wheeled into the ward with an 4 drip, Yenran hurriedly followed. At this time, Qiao Xiao had already woken up. He smiled weakly at Yenran. "I have been injured so many times, and every time, it was you who treated me. This time, there is a new doctor. I am really not used to it. Fortunately, it is a man." Yenran was suddenly amused by him. Seeing that he could still be so talkative, her heart was finally completely relieved. She also teased him, "You have a good rest. Although I can't heal you, I can give you a massage and help you wash." After saying that, she winked. Xiao Zhao's weak expression immediately disappeared. His eyes were bright. F***CK, Yenran, you said it. You are not allowed to go back on your words. With this kind of treatment, I must stay in the hospital for a few more days. Yenran helped him tuck in the corner of the quilt. I am talking about massaging your arms and washing your face. After saying that, she pursed her lips and smiled. I don't care. You promised me. If you can't do it, when I am better, I will give you a massage and wash you. Yenran immediately blushed. I am going to die. Rest well. Don't talk nonsense. The warmth between the two surged. No matter what, the biggest worry in Yenran's heart had been removed. She lay beside Xiao Zhao's bed and counted Xiao Zhao's eyelashes one by one. She praised, How did you grow up, you evildoer? The soldiers on the ancient battlefield just now were all soldiers of the devil world, right? Why do they look so strange? They are completely different from you. Xiao Xiao said proudly, Of course, I'm the crown prince of the devil realm, and my mother is the most beautiful woman in the devil realm. She's devastatingly beautiful, capable of causing the downfall of a city, captivating the birds and beasts, and shaming the moon and flowers. It's said that my royal father snatched her from someone else, and then spoiled her to the heavens. This was the first time Yenran heard him talk about his family. She could not help but be curious. Can you tell me about the devil world? Xiao Xiao immediately perked up. Although he was lying down and unable to move, it did not hinder his hand movements. Our demon realm is very fun. As long as it's related to eating, drinking, and playing, it's very exciting. The most important thing is freedom. There are not so many restrictions in the human world. Strength is king. Those who are not smart enough will become boorish like those soldiers you saw. Those who are smart enough like me will become more and more beautiful. You are bragging. I didn't see how smart you were when you were a bad student. Yenran directly exposed his shortcomings. Xiao Xiao touched his nose. That's because I don't want to learn. You see, as long as I like it, I can learn it well. Yenran thought about it and seemed to be the case. However, you need to be forced. If no one forces you, you will relax your requirements. You are right. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't take the initiative to cultivate. But I didn't expect that I really did cultivate correctly. Otherwise, how can I protect my goddess? Xiao Xiao affectionately stared into Yenran's eyes and raised his hand to touch his beloved face. Chapter 192. Hey, do you know? The patient who came in yesterday was so strange. At first, the blood that flowed out of his body was black, as if he had been poisoned. Until today, the blood that flowed out of his body finally turned red. Two nurses were whispering in the nurses' station. Yenran went downstairs to buy some fruits for Xiao Xiao. This picky man insisted that he wanted to eat grapes. He said that his eyes would become bigger after eating grapes. Yenran complained in her heart. His eyes were already so big. If he ate grapes, his eyes would become even bigger, and they would become as big as copper bells. However, she couldn't win against Xiao Zhao's coquetry, so she had to go downstairs to buy some for him. When she came up, she passed by the nurses' station and heard two young nurses whispering about the black blood. Yenran suddenly remembered that the doctor said that if Hua Gang was fine, he should be out of the intensive care unit today. She went directly to the nurses' station and asked the two nurses, Did Hua Gang, who was sent to the intensive care unit after the operation yesterday, come out? The two nurses heard that she was asking about the person they were talking about, so they immediately replied, He hasn't come out yet, but he's getting better. The doctor said that he's fine. Are you his family member? I'm his friend. Oh, was he poisoned before? The black blood in his body has turned red. He'll be fine when he wakes up. What black blood? I don't understand. This patient lost a lot of blood yesterday. It was all black. Later, the attending doctor said that there was poison in his blood, so he simply changed the blood all over his body. The cost was not low. Now, the black blood all over his body has been washed clean. Yenran was confused. How could Hua Gang's blood be black? She didn't think much about it and went straight back to Qiao Zhao's ward. In the intensive care unit, a handsome man was lying on the hospital bed with an 4 drip in his hand and tubes all over his body. There was a bag that was filled with blood, and the color of the blood had turned from black to red. His eyelids moved and he struggled to open his eyes. He looked at the white ceiling and smelled the smell of disinfectant in the hospital. At first, he was still a little confused and did not know where he was. But not long after, memories flooded in like a tide. His head hurt. He held his head with a hiss and clenched his fist to hit his temples and Bai Hui acupoints. The pain lessened a little, but some chaotic memories filled his mind. He didn't know where they came from. One by one, they jumped through his mind. There were memories of himself, of Yanran, of the aristocratic families in the south, and of the aristocratic families in the east. There was also a person who gave him a headache whenever he thought of him. He remembered that person was very handsome, but what was his name? The nurse next to him saw that he was awake and walked up to him. "You're finally awake. You're bound to have good fortune after surviving a disaster." Hua Gang smiled at him gratefully and weakly. "Thank you." The nurse also kindly comforted him. "You still need to rest well. This time you were seriously injured. Qiao Xiao, who came with you, was slightly less injured than you. I'm very curious how you were injured. Why do you feel like you were pierced by arrows?" Qiao Xiao, yes, that name was Qiao Xiao. The scene of Qiao Xiao destroying his spiritual power suddenly appeared in his mind. No. He felt himself. His dantian was empty. The place that should have been full of spiritual power had become a barren land. At this time, it was already dry and torn apart. His heart suddenly panicked. More memories flooded into his mind. He kissed Yanran, he bit Yanran crazily, he saw Yanran with her mouth full of blood. How could this be? How could this be? How could he do this to Yanran? He looked around the intensive care unit. This place seemed familiar. He suddenly remembered. A middle-aged man with turbid eyes opened wide with fear. He kept struggling, trying to escape from his hands. But at that time, he had mercilessly injected the lethal poison into the drip bottle. In the blink of an eye, the scene changed. On a bridge in a park, a 4-year-old boy was waving his hands. His eyes were wide with fear. He watched him fall in front of him. He didn't reach out to pull him up. He didn't even think about jumping into the river to save him. No, this wasn't him. This was a demon. Hua Gang hugged his head and banged it against the side of the bed. The nurse was shocked and quickly held him down. "What's wrong with you? You just woke up and can't move. Why are you hitting the bed with your head? Lie down. If you have anything to say it when you're better. Otherwise, the doctors will have saved you for nothing." Hua Gang was held down by the nurse. He closed his eyes in despair. He now knew that the images in his mind were all of himself. Little by little, he gradually turned from a kind person into a demon. He thought back to when he started to turn bad. It seemed to have started from greed. Greed was a demon. It was a demon that seeped into his blood and bone marrow. With a little catalyst, it grew into a towering poisonous tree. In Hua Gang's body, poisonous branches swayed and formed a poisonous tree frame. In the end, it bore the most evil poisonous fruit. "Okay, the doctor said that since you're awake, you can be transferred to a normal ward. Don't think too much. I'll push you over. You still have a friend outside. She'll probably come to see you later." The nurse saw that he had calmed down and quickly said, "Friend? What friend?" Hua Gang felt strange. What kind of friend could a demon like him have? A very beautiful girl. She's thin and tall, but she doesn't have any expression. She was the one who brought you here that day when you were injured, the nurse said as she pushed his bed. Hua Gang's heart trembled. Yanran. It must be Yanran. I used to treat her so badly, but she still saved my life. He really did not love the wrong person. This girl was the kindest girl in the world, and he had brought so much fear and torture to so many people. Regret gnawed at his heart like insects. He wanted to redeem himself, wanted to erase everything that had happened, but there was nothing he could do. Tears kept falling from the corner of his eyes. He really wanted to wash away everything that had happened with his tears. A man does not cry easily. It is only because he has not been deeply hurt. Huagang was pushed into a single ward. It was empty. Other than the nurse who kept moving around, there was no one else. Huagang felt a little disappointed. "Didn't you say that someone would come to see me?" "Oh, I've already informed her." "Maybe she's busy. Isn't there another friend next door?" "The person next door is Qiao Xiao, right?" "Yes, he's a big celebrity. We all like him. He's handsome and has a sweet mouth. He spoils his girlfriend to the heavens. We're so envious." Huagang knew that the nurse was talking about Yanran. He remembered the devil aura above Qiao Xiao's head. However, after so many things, he realized that the real devil aura was in his body. Qiao Xiao had never used his devil aura to do anything bad. On the contrary, he had saved many people. Was he too shallow? Or was it Yanran who saw through it? It was difficult to distinguish between good and evil. Yanran had said this sentence before. It was only today that Huagang truly understood the meaning behind it. "Huagang, how are you feeling now?" A cold voice sounded by the door. Huagang looked up and saw the beautiful face that was carved into his bones appear in front of him. He suddenly panicked and didn't know how to face it. Yanran walked in and sat on the stool beside his bed. "You have no spiritual power now. You have to know that if you do something bad again, I will definitely bring you to justice." The cold words were like a knife cutting Huagang's heart. She was still the Yanran of the past, the Yanran who always meant what she said. Huagang closed his eyes. A line of tears slid down from the corner of his eyes. "I'm sorry, Yanran. It's my fault. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for the southern aristocratic family. I've sinned deeply." After saying this, Huagang struggled to get up from the bed. He didn't care about the tubes in his body. With difficulty, he kowtowed to Yanran. "I don't ask you to forgive me. I did it and I can't take it back. I promise you, I won't do anything wrong again." Yanran looked at Huagang like this. She was really not used to it. Now Huagang's eyes were full of righteousness. His eyes were so clear that you could see the bottom. It was as if he had returned to the appearance of the big brother next door. "I hope you know what to do." Yanran left after saying this. Huagang looked at the closed door. The sadness in his heart spread endlessly. It was like a small hole that became bigger and bigger. A slender gap dominated his heart. After nearly 10 days, Qiao Xiao could finally be discharged from the hospital. However, Huagang still had to wait for a few more days. Qiao Xiao was already planning where to take Yanran to play during the summer vacation. "Yanran, I've done a great job this time. Shouldn't you reward me?" "What reward? Isn't serving you every day a reward?" Yanran smiled as she helped Qiao Xiao pack up his things for the discharge. "Yes, Yanran, you've worked hard during this period of time. So I want to reward you. How about I take you out to play?" Qiao Xiao said as he stretched his body. He had been lying in bed all this time and had become rusty. "Are you talking about the summer vacation?" "That's fine too. But it can't be too long. I still have to cultivate." "Oh yeah. I'll make a good plan for our honeymoon trip." Qiao Xiao hugged Yanran from behind and kissed her hard on the side of her face. "I'll definitely give you an unforgettable trip." Yanran looked at Qiao Xiao, who was full of vitality again, and felt sweet in her heart. He was always so warm. He used his light to soothe the wounds in her heart. Qiao Xiao said that she was his support, but he had already become her salvation. Thump, thump, thump. The door was knocked. A nurse came in. "Miss Yanran, this is a letter from Huagang in the next room. I've brought it for you." After saying that, she glanced at Qiao Xiao. This handsome guy was going to be discharged today. She didn't want to look at him anymore. Yanran took the letter and found that it was a thick stack. It was heavy in her hand. Xiao Xiao looked over and said sourly, "This Huagang has no spiritual power. How can he still have so many thoughts? I haven't written such a thick love letter before." Chapter 193. Yanran looked at the heavy envelope in her hand. She sat down and opened it. Xiao Xiao also wanted to read it together, but he felt that he should respect Yanran's privacy. His pair of charming big eyes looked around and occasionally saw the first few lines of words. Yanran, my words are like my face. This is a letter of confession that I have written for you. Ever since I lost my spiritual power, it was as if I had a nightmare. Even I found it hard to believe that I had once become a demon. I am extremely remorseful for the irreparable harm that I have caused you and the southern aristocratic family. Oh, he even knows how to repent. How rare. The sour words floated out of Xiao Xiao's mouth again. Yanran glanced at him. Her warning gaze made Xiao Xiao immediately shut his mouth. Yanran was just so imposing. Just a casual glance from her was enough to make his heart beat faster. Xiao Xiao simply walked away, leaving all the space to Yanran. I have done countless wrong things. The one I regret the most is being a traitor to the southern aristocratic family. After I joined the eastern aristocratic family, I found out how pure and clean the southern aristocratic family was. They really followed their own beliefs to protect mankind. And the Dongfang aristocratic family has long been reduced to a private army for Old Man Yi and the others to amass wealth. Yanran's hand trembled. She really couldn't believe what Huagang said about the eastern aristocratic family. She originally thought that cultivators were the same as them. She didn't expect that they had completely overturned the original ancestral teachings. What kind of disaster would that bring to mankind? Now that I have lost my spiritual power, the only thing I can do for the southern aristocratic family is to tell you everything I know about the eastern aristocratic family. Yanran, although you have lost your spiritual power, you are different from me. It was Yi Xuanfei who fed you the spiritual transformation pill. The spiritual transformation pill is just a kind of poison. It has an antidote, but the eastern aristocratic family has hidden the antidote very well. After so long, I don't know where they put it. With my current ability, there's no way for me to find the antidote for the spirit transformation pill for you. However, I'm telling you this to give you hope. Perhaps one day, you and Xiao Xiao will be able to find the antidote. Yanran really didn't expect that there was an antidote for the spiritual transformation pill. Didn't that mean that the southern aristocratic family could still be saved? Yanran, I beg you. The southern aristocratic family is our common home. Our mission and beliefs can't be destroyed by the eastern aristocratic family. I know that you may not have much ambition now, but I feel that you are a person with a firm belief and a strong will. I hope that you can regain your confidence and take up the heavy responsibility of revitalizing the southern aristocratic family. You can catch all the people from the eastern aristocratic family in one fell swoop, so that all cultivators can get on the right track and let the cultivation world and human beings live in harmony. At the back of the letter was a densely packed list of the members of the eastern aristocratic family, as well as the things they had done to the southern aristocratic family. Yanran's hands were trembling as she read to the end. Every word was like a knife stabbing into her heart. She could empathize with everything that was written in the book. It turned out that all of this was controlled by the eastern aristocratic family. Her heart was in turmoil. This was no longer a matter of the southern aristocratic family, but the biggest crisis facing the entire cultivation world. Even her grandfather was silently disposed of as a useless chess piece at that time. Yanran understood a lot of things at once. She finally knew why the southern aristocratic family, 100-year-old tree, could be brought down so easily. It turned out that it was not just an internal management problem, but also because the eastern aristocratic family had placed a steel knife on their necks like a thunderbolt. As her grandfather, he was a noble and upright person, so he definitely did not want to wallow in the mire with some filthy people. But she did not expect that the eastern aristocratic family had betrayed her and directly swallowed up the southern aristocratic family for their own selfish desires. Yanran, I don't have the face to see you guys anymore. That day, I saw little Six in the corridor. He looked at me with hatred like a man-eating beast. This is what I deserve. Even I hate myself. I will never look for you guys again. I will accept the punishment for what I have done wrong. Although Xiao Xiao has devil chi, he is upright, kind, and excellent. He treats you well, so he should be a good match for you. I wish the two of you the best. I hope that the two of you can hold hands for the rest of your life and be in love forever. When Yanran saw this, she suddenly opened the door and rushed to the ward next door. However, there was no one in the ward next door. A nurse was making the bed. Excuse me, where is the patient here? You mean Hua Gang? You don't know that he committed a crime. The police came and took him away. He should have left by now, right? When Yanran heard this, she rushed to the elevator. However, there were many people waiting in the elevator. She simply rushed into the emergency passage next to her and quickly ran down from the 16th floor. When she ran out of the hospital in a hurry, a police car screeched past her. From the car window, she saw Hua Gang. Yanran was suddenly shocked. He seemed to have aged decades. At this moment, he was sandwiched between two police officers. His calm and weathered eyes were fixed in front of him. Yanran suddenly felt a surge of bitterness in her heart. The emotion that should have hated Hua Gang suddenly disappeared. Hua Gang became her brother next door again. He was gentle and considerate like when they were young. Yanran was suddenly pulled into an embrace. She turned around and met Xiao Zhao's anxious eyes. What's wrong? Yanran, what happened? Yanran didn't answer. She just hugged Xiao Xiao back and buried her head in his chest. Xiao Xiao was even more panicked. Did that bastard Hua Gang make you angry again? I'll go get revenge for you immediately. After saying this, he tried to break free from Yanran's embrace. No. Yanran raised her head and smiled sadly at Xiao Xiao. Let's go back. Hua Gang has already turned himself in. He'll probably stay in prison for a long time. Yanran, don't scare me. Your smile is uglier than crying. Let's go back first. If there's anything, you can tell me slowly. The two of them hugged each other and gradually walked away. Their voices became softer and softer. Mr. Yi, there's news from Nanchuan University. Hua Gang was taken away by the police for committing a crime. Now that it's confirmed, he's just waiting to be sentenced. A subordinate reported to Mr. Yi. What? Hua Gang was taken away for committing a crime? How is that possible? Mr. Ye's hand that was watering the flowers paused for a moment. Then, he continued. He didn't believe it at all. It must be a rumor. It's true. I went to the detention center to see him. He told me that he lost all his spiritual power overnight. Also, he killed 2 people before. The police found out and took him away. Mr. Yi put down the watering can with a bang. Lost all his spiritual power? What happened? Hua Gang said he didn't know. It was just strange. When he woke up, he lost all his spiritual power. He also asked Mr. Yi to send someone to save him. Mr. Yi paced back and forth. I said before that his cultivation was growing too fast. Could it be that it's really some kind of overbearing evil technique? Did he suddenly go berserk? Hua Gang guessed the same as well. He seemed to have aged a lot. Mr. Yi, how do you think we should save him? What's there to save a person who lost all his spiritual power? He violated the country's law. Of course, he should be punished. Who did he kill? Did he kill people after joining us? Or did he kill people before? Before he joined our Eastern aristocratic family, he killed a child and an old man. This Hua Gang had guts. He was a person who could do big things. What a pity. It seems that I have to find another person to manage the southern region. After saying that, Mr. Yi picked up his watering can and continued watering the flowers. The subordinate hesitated for a long time. Then, he asked Mr. Yi again, "Do you mean that you don't care about him anymore? He was originally a traitor of the southern family. Maybe it's revenge. It's best that we don't get involved." Last time, Hua Gang said that a powerful person appeared in the southern family. Continue to look for that person and try to pull him into our camp. Also, take back all the assets under Hua Gang's name. Yes. The subordinate left, feeling a little disappointed. Xuanfei, something happened to Hua Gang and he was arrested. Don't contact him in the future. Mr. Yi remembered to call Yi Xuanfei to tell her about this. Oh. Isn't Hua Gang very powerful? How could something happen to him? Did you suffer from qi deviation during your cultivation? Oh, then let him be. It has nothing to do with me. Yi Xuanfei said indifferently. I'm just informing you. I saw that you went on a few dates with him before. Grandpa, why would I go on a date with him? He's not even worthy of carrying my shoes. He can't even compare to Qiao Zhao's finger. It's good that he's arrested. Otherwise, he won't bother me all day. Yi Xuanfei said contemptuously. I didn't expect you to still be thinking about that Qiao Xiao. He's already back and he's with Yanran. Are you sure you still like him? Humph, I must take revenge. These two people lied to me. They played me like a fool. Without Yanran, Qiao Xiao will naturally be mine. Alright, there are many boys in the world. What's so good about this Qiao Xiao? Unless he's as good as Hua Gang, then I'll agree to let you be with him. Otherwise, there's no need to talk about it. Grandpa, I just like him. Yi Xuanfei said angrily. Alright. Focus on your studies. He's so far away from you. It's impossible for the two of you to be together for the time being. I'll let you look around the university and see if there are other boys who are better than him. Then you won't like him anymore. An ordinary person isn't good enough for you. Mr. Yi advised her earnestly. Alright, Grandpa. I'm hanging up. Yi Xuanfei hung up the phone and opened the Nanchuan University's forum. The front page was filled with Qiao Zhao's photos. Every one of them was her favorite. There were a few photos of him and Yanran together. Yi Xuanfei saved every photo and cut out Yanran's photo. As her treasured photos, she kept them in a special confidential folder. She looked at the schools now. They were all ugly. None of them could compare to Qiao Zhao's handsomeness. She really wanted to transfer to Nanchuan University and go to school with Qiao Xiao. Yanran wasn't even in her consideration. She was just an ordinary girl who had lost all her spiritual power. What right did she have to fight with her for Qiao Xiao? Chapter 194. Time flew by, and the entire summer vacation passed in the blink of an eye. The trip that Qiao Xiao had originally planned was also rejected by Yanran. Ever since Yanran received Hua Gang's letter, she became more and more serious. She wished that she could cultivate 24/7 every day. Yanran never showed Hua Gang's letter to Qiao Xiao. Qiao Xiao seemed to have guessed something, but he didn't dare to be sure. Looking at Yanran, who was smiling in front of him, but when there was no one around, she would often be in a daze. Qiao Xiao really wanted to be a roundworm in Yanran's stomach. He wanted to drill into her stomach and see if he only occupied 1% of her mind, and 99% of her mind was occupied by some strange thoughts. At first, Qiao Zhao's heart was sour. Could it be that she was missing Hua Gang? But after thinking about it, how could it be? Was this still his Yanran? Yanran, I think you don't love me at all now. This was a sentence that Qiao Xiao always said when he didn't get a response. Yanran would always rub his hair, kiss the corner of his mouth, and then say, "Good boy, go play by yourself for a while." Grinding teeth. Anger. Qiao Xiao completely felt that he was Yanran's pet. However, Qiao Xiao was also very busy during the summer vacation, because Zhang Deong and he wanted to open a technology entertainment company. Qiao Xiao was the chairman, and he was willing to be the general manager. Uncle Wu actually agreed to this matter very much. Young master, you came to the human world to gain experience. It's better for you to come into contact with society earlier. In the end, you'll get a diploma from university, but you still need to gain experience in society. You don't have to worry about the money, but our family can't just sit there and eat. I've already transferred the company's registered funds to Zhang Deong. He's your ready-made professional manager. I'll lend this money to you. When the time comes, Remember to return it to me. Then use your advantages to build a business empire. Qiao Xiao was confused and asked foolishly, Uncle Wu, then can I not go to university? Young master, your diploma is your foundation. Your connections and resources in school, as well as your studies, are the most important means for you to build a business empire. So Qiao Xiao was kidnapped and became the chairman of an entertainment company. Then Zhang Deong used the whole summer vacation to drag Qiao Xiao to choose a site, recruit people, decorate, and go to various established companies to do research. Soon, a company called Star Sky Technology Entertainment Company was officially established. Zhang Deong rented a whole 4 floors in Nanchuan's most prosperous office building. The decoration was particularly high class. He said, I've done research. The facade is very important. When people come to your company to inspect, you have to look noble and classy. Only then will they recognize your company. This was in line with Qiao Zhao's philosophy. He was used to living a luxurious life, so he waved his pen. Use the best. Just think of it as the money we owe Uncle Wu. Later on, we'll pay him back with interest. Their company's scope of business was also determined. Qiao Xiao was their ace, entertainment was one, and technology research and development was another. Just like that, Zhang Deong rode on Qiao Zhao's east wind and worked hard towards the goal of owning a mine at home. When Professor He heard that Qiao Xiao had actually started her own company, he was full of praise and also agreed to invest in the technology. This way, with Professor He's help, their company's products would have a market. Qiao Xiao didn't care about these things. To him, these were small cases. He believed that with his invincible charm, he would be able to get the company up and running very quickly. He cared more about his Yanran. He had been dragged around the country by Zhang Deong these past few days to understand the market situation. He hadn't seen Yanran for a few days, and he really missed her. Qiao Xiao assumed that Yanran must have cast a spell on him as well. Otherwise, why would he be the only one who missed her, and Yanran never took the initiative to say that she missed him? That afternoon, Qiao Xiao arrived home. He freshened up and washed away the exhaustion from running around for the past few days. Looking at himself in the mirror, he appeared to be slightly tanned from the scorching sun, but he looked even more manly. With that, he called Yanran and asked her to have dinner that night, but Yanran said she was at a critical point in her cultivation that night and had to continue. She would eat something at home and see her tomorrow. Although Qiao Xiao also knew that dinner was just an excuse, the most important thing was to kidnap Yanran to his house to satisfy his wretched heart. After being fooled several times, Yanran put a ban on Qiao Xiao. The two were not married yet, so they couldn't live together before marriage. Qiao Xiao regretted it so much. When Yanran said that she wanted to repay him with her body, why didn't he agree? He even righteously said that he must respect her before marriage. Now, he respected her too much. Wouldn't it be hard for him? This was the nth time that Yanran had rejected him. Qiao Xiao really felt that Yanran was a bit too much. Which couple didn't want to stick together 24 hours a day? How come when it came to him and Yanran, they were separated by the Milky Way? They had to wait for Magpie to build a bridge for them to see each other? This wouldn't do. Magpie didn't go to work, so he would build the bridge himself. Tonight, he would kidnap Yanran. He secretly came to Yanran's house. The lights in the house were on, and it seemed that several people were eating in the living room. After eating, Yanran went out and went to the back of the mountain. Qiao Xiao followed her from a distance. When they reached the top of the mountain, Yanran found an open space and sat down. She took out the totem and began to cultivate seriously. Qiao Xiao really couldn't do anything. Yanran was really cultivating, and he couldn't interrupt her. It seemed that tonight's date was ruined again. Qiao Xiao hid behind a tree and looked at Yanran in frustration. He saw that she was motionless, and the totem above her head was constantly releasing spiritual qi, covering her whole body. Qiao Xiao also felt the surging spiritual qi. He simply sat down and cultivated with Yanran. After entering a meditative state, the two of them had already forgotten about the time. When Qiao Xiao opened his eyes again, he felt refreshed. His entire body was filled with spiritual energy. He really wanted to jump 3 times to feel this light and surging power. He stood up and stretched. When he looked back, he was surprised to see Yen Ran. He saw that Yen Ran had also finished cultivating. Her whole body was wet, as if she was in great pain. At the same time, her face was full of frustration. Xiao Xiao no longer hid himself. He quickly showed up and supported Yen Ran, who was on the verge of collapse. Yen Ran, what's the matter? Aren't you cultivating? Why are you so tired? Yen Ran was surprised. She didn't expect that there was someone else beside her. Fortunately, it was Xiao Xiao. She smiled bitterly. I can't even feel you beside me now. What the hell is going on? You must be hiding something from me. I want to hear the truth. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but worry. How could a normal cultivator be like this? Yen Ran saw that she couldn't hide it anymore. She had to tell the truth. I have been using the endless spiritual qi brought by the totem to cultivate. But my own meridians seem to be blocked. I can't absorb it. Then you torture yourself like this. I want to break through that layer of obstacles, but those obstacles are very stubborn. Every time I borrow the power of spiritual qi to break through it, but I haven't succeeded. My own dantian is always empty. It doesn't listen to my command. Aren't you cultivating the hibiscus chart? Is there no way to cultivate the hibiscus chart? This really made Xiao Xiao distressed. Yen Ran leaned in Xiao Xiao's arms and said weakly, the hibiscus chart itself is based on a deep foundation of spiritual qi. It's a step deeper cultivation of spiritual qi. If the foundation isn't laid, how can you build a skyscraper and reach the sky in a single bound? Then can we not cultivate? Isn't it good to be an ordinary person? Yen Ran heard Xiao Xiao's words. She lowered her head and didn't say anything. After a while, she continued. Originally, I wanted to accept my fate and be an ordinary person. But when I learned from Hua Gang that the Eastern aristocratic families were using their own special abilities to harm humans, I couldn't get over this hurdle in my heart. I know this path is difficult, but this is my mission. I'm sorry, Xiao Xiao. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry. This is a burden on my shoulders. I don't want to implicate you. Xiao Xiao's anger rose from the bottom of his heart. He felt that he was excluded by Yen Ran. He said unhappily, Yen Ran, what kind of person do you think I am? Yen Ran was frightened by Xiao Xiao's attitude. She stared at him blankly with her big misty eyes. Yiran, have you always treated me as your pet? Am I your little puppy? No, Xiao Xiao, don't misunderstand. You've helped me a lot. How can I treat you as a pet? It's just that this is a matter of our cultivation world. I don't want to add too much burden to you. Xiao Xiao was angered by Yen Ran. He pushed her away and stood up abruptly. Do you draw such a clear line between you and me? Now we're in a relationship. Your business is my business, and your responsibility is my responsibility. Do you still treat me as the human being you used to protect? But my belief is not your belief. I don't want to impose it on you. You're the crown prince of the devil world. You just came to the human world to gain experience. You don't have the responsibility or obligation to do so many things for the human world. Yen Ran also stood up. She tried her best to tell Xiao Xiao the truth. I don't understand these principles. I only know that you're my woman now, and you'll be the crown princess of the devil world in the future. I'll do my best to help you realize your dream. But I don't want there to be such a clear boundary between us. Are cultivators superior to humans? Is there such a clear difference between cultivators and humans? Yen Ran, you're too narrow-minded. This isn't your mission alone. You coexist with humans. It's just that you're more capable than others, but it doesn't mean that you have to rule over others. Everyone has their own way of living in this society. Is this why there are bad people in your cultivation world? And there must be good people in the human world. It's hard to distinguish between good and evil. I hope you don't divide humans into cultivators and ordinary people. I hope you can directly divide them into good people and bad people. I always thought that you were extremely smart and did things thoroughly. Especially when it came to dealing with my devil chi, it was different from what others saw. But now that you've lost your spiritual power, why have you become so muddle-headed? Xiao Zhao's words were like a few thunderbolts exploding on Yanran's head. Yanran couldn't help but take a step back. She had never seen Xiao Zhao speak so righteously. And what he said was like a soul interrogation, stabbing her heart like a knife. Yanran, I know you've always been a strong girl, but now that you have me, can you put down your hard armor and let me shelter you from the wind and rain? You have to remember, your man is now very strong. The powerful promise suddenly broke down all of Yanran's defenses. She threw herself into Xiao Zhao's arms, tears falling like rain. Chapter 195. That night, things didn't go as planned. Xiao Zhao didn't kidnap Yanran back home. He could already understand Yanran's feelings. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on her, so heavy that she couldn't breathe. He couldn't say that Yanran was wrong, because this was the mission that was instilled in her since she was young. But as a girl, it was really too difficult to turn the tide with her own strength. And Xiao Zhao immediately found his new life goal, which was to help Yanran realize her dream. Whatever Yanran wanted, he would definitely get it for her. Even if she wanted the stars in the sky, he would find a way to fly to the divine realm and pluck them for her. He always felt that Hua Gang's letter was the key. He didn't read it, so he didn't know why it brought so much pressure to Yanran. He desperately wanted to know the content of the letter, but he couldn't see it. He directly threw this problem to Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. Books can't be read unless you borrow them. Kong Ming shook his head and said through the bracelet, stealing books can't be considered stealing. Kong Xiaoming followed. You want me, the prince of the demon realm, to do this kind of thing? Xiao Zhao narrowed his eyes and said to them warningly. The two of them opened their innocent little eyes and nodded their heads desperately. Careless friends. Careless friends. You two have led me astray. It seems that I can only reluctantly listen to you this time. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming rolled their eyes. Sima Zhao's intentions were obvious. On a moonless and windy night, Xiao Zhao changed into a set of black clothes and blended herself into the darkness, leaving only two bewitching phoenix eyes staring intently at the door of Yanran's house. Kong Ming threw a health ball at Xiao Zhao. It's so bright outside. Aren't you more conspicuous wearing black clothes? What do you know? This is called a night suit. Once the lights are off, we won't be able to see anything. At about 7 o'clock, Yanran finished her meal and went straight out of the house. Xiao Zhao was hiding in the dark, making no sound like a black cat. Seeing Yanran gracefully walk past him, he suppressed his urge to whistle and asked Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming, if Yanran finds out that I came to steal her letter, will she beat me afterwards? She can't beat you. What are you worried about? Kong Ming directly said, beating is a sign of affection and scolding is a sign of love. Don't you like it when she hits you? Xiao Zhao thought about it and agreed. At worst, Yanran would use her soft and boneless hands to pinch his waist. Just thinking about it made his heart itch. What he had a headache now was that he could sneak into Yanran's room without being discovered by her family. Xiao Zhao looked from afar. Yanran's room was on the second floor. The first floor was brightly lit. Her family should be resting after dinner. Xiao Zhao took advantage of the cover of the night and flew directly to the window on the second floor like a giant bird. After gently prying open the window, he sneaked in like a cat. This was the first time he had been to Yanran's boudoir. The room was not big, only about 20 square meters, but it was neatly tidied. A 1.5-meter-long bed was placed in the middle of the room. It was covered with elegant pink sheets and a pink dressing table, which complemented each other. It was full of a girl's heart. A bookcase against the wall was full of books from top to bottom. There was a very comfortable pink single sofa next to the window. Xiao Zhao sat on it and experienced the feeling of Yanran sitting on it and reading. Everything was so novel. Everywhere had Yanran's smell. Chow Chow rolled directly onto the big bed. He held Yenron's pillow and took a deep breath. The smell of lavender and a burst of girl's body fragrance filled Chow Chow's nose. Chow Chow was intoxicated by it and didn't want to raise his head for a long time. He spread out his limbs and rolled around on the bed. He wanted to be covered with Yenron's smell. After rolling for a while, he stopped. After getting out of bed, he touched and touched the things on the table. He didn't dare to turn on the light. He took advantage of the moonlight to vaguely appreciate the whole picture. Okay, don't be intoxicated. Hurry up and find the letter. Kong Ming reminded him through the bracelet. Chow Chow looked around and said regretfully, "One of my photos is missing." He began to rummage through the drawers. Yenran must have kept this letter secretly. Chow Chow searched all the drawers under the dressing table but couldn't find it. Then he began to rummage through the bookcase. The entire bookcase was as clean and tidy as the surface of a lake. It was really not easy for him to find that special drop of water in the middle. This wasted a lot of Chow Zhao's time. It wasn't on the first floor, the second floor, or the third floor. Only the row of books on the top floor was left. If it wasn't there, it would be even harder to find. Chow Chow brought the chair over, stood on it, and flipped through the books from beginning to end. Finally, in the middle of the book on the top floor, he found the thick letter. He was happy that he finally found it. Suddenly, Kong Xiaoming said, "Chow Chow, someone's here." Chow Chow quickly stuffed the letter into his arms, turned around, and gently put the chair back to its original place. Then he took a step back and quickly hid behind the door. Just at the right time, the door opened with a click. It was Yenron's mother who came in. She turned on the light and looked at Yenron's room. The messy sheets made her frown. Chow Chow hadn't had time to put the things that had been messed up by Chow Chow. Unfortunately, she couldn't leave for a while, so she just cleaned up in the room. This was going to be troublesome. Yenron's room wasn't big, so one could see the end of it at a glance. Chow Chow was standing behind the door, and he didn't even have time to find a cupboard to hide in. Was he going to be treated like a thief when he met his mother-in-law for the first time? Chow Chow, get ready to be arrested. Hurry up and think about what you're going to say. Chow Chow was so anxious that his forehead was covered in sweat. He pulled the scarf off his face, and as Mama Yen turned around, he took the initiative to show what he thought was his most obedient expression. A big smile spread across his face, and a kind greeting overflowed from his mouth. "Hello, Mama Yen. I'm Chow Chow." Chow Zhao's appearance startled Mama Yen. She patted her chest with one hand and pointed at him with the other. How did you get in?" Chow Chow quickly raised his right hand and swore to Mama Yen. "Auntie, Yenran told me to wait for her here. I didn't sneak in." Mama Yen finally saw clearly that the handsome boy in front of her, who angered both men and gods, seemed familiar. "You're Chow Chow, that classmate of Yenron's? Did Yenran really tell you to come?" "Yes, Auntie." "You can call Yenran and ask." Chow Chow could only pray in his heart that Yenran could help him cover up this lie. Otherwise, he would only be caught as a thief and kicked out by Mama Yen. Kicking him out was a small matter, but the key was that his impression in front of his mother-in-law would plummet. Mama Yen half believed, half doubtfully called Yenran and talked for a long time. After hanging up, she looked at Chow Chow suspiciously. "You two are more nervous than the other. What's going on?" Chow Chow bit his tongue. It seemed that he'd passed this hurdle. Yenran must have helped him cover up. Sorry Auntie. Yenran also made a last-minute decision. I had something important to discuss with her. In order not to disturb you, she told me to come in through the window. Next time use the front door. Our home isn't a dragon's pool or tiger's den. There's no need to sneak in. Come downstairs with me. So Chow Chow followed Mama Yen downstairs. He didn't expect his arrival to arouse Yen Guo's great interest. You're Chow Chow. I know you." The excited young man circled Chow Chow back and forth. "You're even more handsome in real life than in photos. How did you grow up?" I've read every single one of your heroic deeds online. You're my idol. Xiao Xiao didn't expect to gain a fan in Yenron's home. His wildly beating heart finally calmed down a little. A fan could definitely speak up for him. Then Xiao Xiao returned to normal. Using his glib tongue and earth-shattering handsome face, he immediately won the hearts of Yenron's family. The more Mama Yen looked at Xiao Xiao, the more she liked him. This boy was handsome and had a sweet mouth. He'd left a good impression on her after Lu Hui's incident. He was excellent in all aspects. She'd heard Yen Guo talk about him many times. Today, she saw that he was very well-mannered. Mama Yen was experienced. At a glance, she could see that Xiao Xiao was interested in her daughter. She smiled and pulled Xiao Xiao along, asking her a lot of questions. After learning that Xiao Xiao's parents had long gone to a very distant place, she felt even more distressed. Such a child, without parents and with only an old housekeeper, had grown up to be so outstanding. How could it be easy? Fortunately, Yenron's father wasn't home today. She heard that he went to accompany Elder Yen. Otherwise, she didn't know if Xiao Xiao could handle this family's bombardment. Auntie came in a hurry today. I didn't expect to meet you and didn't bring you any gifts. I'll make it up to you the next time I officially visit. Hearing this, Mama Yen thought, "Oh, you're officially going to visit." Mama Yen had a motherly smile on her face. She took Xiao Xiao's hand and asked lovingly, "What's your relationship with Yenran now?" "We're a couple. We're classmates." Two voices sounded at the same time. The one in front was Xiao Xiao's, and the one behind was Yenran's, who was in a hurry to get home. As soon as Xiao Xiao saw Yenran come back, he immediately stood up and went to greet her with a guilty conscience. Yenran glared at him, then sat down in the living room. "Mom, he's my classmate. I have something to discuss with him today. It's not that I want to scold you, but why would a classmate come through the window? It's not like he's shameful. I know such a handsome young man. You look like you're hiding something." Yenran couldn't explain at all. She glared at Xiao Xiao again. "Brother Xiao, what do you mean by a couple?" Xiao Xiao's eyes widened. She looked back and forth between Xiao Xiao and Yenran. Xiao Xiao rubbed his nose and glanced at Yenran. He could only say, "I'm pursuing Yenran. She hasn't agreed yet." After saying this, he felt aggrieved. Was he so shameful? Yenran actually didn't admit it. He had to have a good talk with her later. Yenran saw that the situation was getting out of hand. She hurriedly said to her mother and Yen Guo, "Xiao Xiao and I have something to discuss. We'll go up first." After saying that, he pulled Xiao Xiao into his room without giving her any chance to explain. Chapter 196. As soon as the door closed, Yenran crossed her arms. "Tell me what's going on?" Xiao Xiao's eyes darted left and right. Knowing that he had done something wrong, he could only lie and act coquettishly. "Yenran, I missed you. I wanted to secretly come and see you." "Then why didn't you call me first?" "Didn't I want to give you a surprise?" After saying that, Xiao Xiao hugged Yenran without any explanation. "I missed you, but you didn't even come to my place. And why didn't you tell your mother the truth? Am I so shameful?" Xiao Xiao was indeed a little aggrieved. Yenran also felt a little guilty. After being hugged by him and dawdled for a while, she was no longer angry. The incident just now happened so suddenly that she was not prepared at all. She had not told her parents about Xiao Xiao's matter, and now it was suddenly exposed. Perhaps it was because of the depth of love that she was even more afraid that her parents would not accept him. "I've never told my parents. I'm afraid that they will object. I see that your mother and brother both like me very much. Your brother is even my fan." Xiao Xiao was proud. "Do you think I should go directly to your house and ask for your hand in marriage?" Yenran directly slapped his head away. "Please, we are only in the second year. We are so young. How can the parents agree?" Xiao Xiao hugged Yenran and rubbed against her. How was she young? She was not young at all. Yenran blushed at his words and pushed him away. You talk nonsense all day. Well, you've seen me. Can you go back now? Qiao Xiao finally caught Yenran. How could he let go of such a good opportunity? He picked Yenran up and sat her down on the chair. Now that I've met your parents, does that mean I can come to you openly in the future? In your dreams. How can a guy go to a girl's house all day long? Yenran glared at him again. In Qiao Xiao's eyes, it wasn't a glare. It was a flirtatious wink. His hands tightened. Why not? I'm your boyfriend. I want to fight for my rights. Just now, your mother told me to come here often to play. She was just being polite. Did you take it seriously? Don't you still have a lot to do? Looking at Qiao Xiao's increasingly dangerous eyes, Yenran's mouth went dry, and her voice became lower and lower. Nothing is as important as our date. Qiao Xiao's face was getting closer and closer. By the time he finished his last word, his sexy thin lips were already on Yenran's. Yenran couldn't help but moan. Qiao Xiao took the initiative. Qiao Xiao sighed in his heart. This kind of thing was really addictive. Yenran's small mouth was as sweet as honey, just like a poppy, making people infinitely infatuated and never tired of it. The two people's tongues were entangled. After a while, they kissed. Hormones rushed to their heads. A tremor and throbbing from the bottom of their hearts hit their bodies. Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming in the bracelet suddenly covered their eyes and sighed to each other. Here we go again. This Qiao Xiao doesn't care about their feelings at all. These two old bachelors are also men. Qiao Xiao ignored the complaints of Kong Ming and Kong Xiaoming. He only knew that he was immersed in the passionate atmosphere created by himself and Yenran. The beautiful feeling took him to a run-up, and he ran faster and faster. He was so fast that he could grow wings and fly across the sky. He saw the mountains and rivers, crisscrossing paths, and the vast land with thousands of winged creatures whistling into his eyes. He was as happy as stars exploding in the sky. Yenran was about to shrink into the stomach of the chair because of his kiss. Qiao Xiao withdrew from Yenran's small mouth. Looking at the silver thread connected to the corners of their mouths, he rolled it with his tongue and swallowed it into his stomach. He said to Yenran seductively, "Yenran, let's go to bed." Yenran had no idea where she was. She had been kissed by Qiao Xiao until she lost her soul and heart. She just opened her mouth in a daze, but she didn't know that her delicate appearance was the most silent invitation to Qiao Xiao. Qiao Xiao picked up Yenran and the two rolled onto the 1.5-meter pink bed. The space became bigger, and Qiao Xiao could play with more freedom. The two continued to kiss deeply. Everything was entangled between their lips and tongues. All of their senses were focused on the sensitive mouth, spreading to their heads, limbs, and every inch of skin. At this time, everything in the world was a foil to them. Even the knocking on the door was mistaken by them as the most beautiful accompaniment in the world. Suddenly, Mama Yan's voice came from outside the door. "Yenran, why didn't you open the door after knocking for so long? I brought you some fruit." The thunderous sound immediately woke the two people on the bed. Looking at the familiar environment, Yenran suddenly remembered that she was in her room, and her mother was at the door. She was going to die. Yenran kicked Qiao Xiao off the bed. After Qiao Xiao was kicked to the ground, he panicked all of a sudden. The two of them were flustered. After tidying up their clothes, they had to tidy up their hair. After tidying up their hair, they still had to tidy up the bed. Yenran had never been so embarrassed before. It was too embarrassing to be caught red-handed by her mother. She glanced at Qiao Xiao and saw that his collar was wide open. His sexy collarbones were exposed, and his shirt had been pulled out of his pants, revealing the mesmerizing and tight skin of his waist. She quickly pointed at Qiao Xiao and asked him to tidy up his clothes, but the knocking on the door became more and more urgent. "Yenran, what are you doing? Hurry up and open the door." "Coming." As soon as Yenran spoke, she was shocked by her own voice. Only then did she realize that her voice was so hoarse. She then looked at Qiao Zhao's busy figure and his untidy clothes. She simply dragged Xiao Xiao to the window and pushed him with both hands. Under Xiao Xiao's extremely reluctant gaze, she pushed him out. After she saw that everything was safe, she dared to open the door. "Mom, I was washing up just now." Mama Yen entered the room and looked around. "Where's Xiao Xiao? Where did he go?" "Oh, we finished talking about things, so he left right away." Yenran awkwardly tucked her untidy hair behind her ear. Mama Yen didn't notice anything strange, but she did notice that Yenran's face was flushed. She put down the fruit. "Next time, let him go through the front door. I think he likes you. Let him come over more often, and we can get to know each other better. I think this young man is pretty good. Don't go out at night anymore, and go to bed early." After Mama Yen left, Yenran finally let out a sigh of relief. Her tense nerves relaxed. It was like a war. That damn Xiao Xiao, he's getting bolder and bolder. I'm going to set rules for him. After being pushed out of the window, Xiao Xiao did a flip and landed smoothly on the ground. His heart was still beating extremely fast, like a small fist beating rapidly. He stood by the wall and rested for a long time to calm down the strange feeling in his body. He reluctantly turned back to look at Yenron's window. After waiting for a while, it seemed that there was no hope for him to go up again, so he had no choice but to return home. Although the process of visiting the door for the first time was more thrilling, overall, it still left a good impression on his mother-in-law. Xiao Xiao still had lingering fears after the accident. It seemed that he had to find a way to bring Yenran to his house next time. Otherwise, Xiao Xiao guessed that it would affect his future happiness. He returned home and sat on the comfortable sofa by the bed. His two long legs naturally stretched forward and propped up on the coffee table. He took out the thick letter from his pocket and began to carefully read it. When he finished reading the whole letter, the clear flowing light in his eyes was majestic and surging like a tide. A cold light as sharp as a dagger shot to the east. It turned out that there were so many things in it. It turned out that Yenran's spiritual power could still be recovered. His Yenran had worked so hard. She had really worried herself to death for this cultivation world. So many demons and monsters had dug out their minds to cause trouble in the human world. Why did Xiao Xiao feel like he had returned to the devil world? Did they think that he, the prince of the demon world, did not exist? Since he knew, it was no longer a personal grudge between Yenran and the Yi family. It had become the prince of the demon world's first feat of cleaning up the family in the human world. Since they had bullied at their doorstep, how could they let them succeed? It seemed that he had to know more about the cultivation world. But the most important thing was to find Yenron's spiritual power for him first. Kong Ming, is there a book that introduces what the panacea is? There is. The panacea is a kind of medicine used by evil people. It was first invented in the demon world. This kind of medicine is very overbearing. As long as someone takes it, this medicine will be like glue, blocking all the meridians in the body. If you want to dissolve the medicine, you can only take a special antidote for it. Is there a book that introduces the method of making this antidote? This is not true. There is no specific description of the making and cracking of the panacea in the ancient book. It should be a long-lost secret technique. Then why do the Eastern aristocratic families have it? The Eastern aristocratic families are different from the Southern aristocratic families. They mainly rely on medicine and formations to survive. They are a branch of the evil path. I don't know why they became cultivators. You mean that the people of the evil sect mixed in with the decent people, and they pretended to be decent men and were popular in the human world? They are no longer wolves after wearing a layer of sheep's clothing? They could have provoked anyone, but they had to provoke our family's Yenran. Are they tired of living? Xiao Xiao, you have to pay attention. If you are in the demon world, you can do whatever you want. But in the human world, you have to abide by the rules of the human world. For example, Yenran said that cultivators can't hurt humans, and the cultivation world only removes the spiritual power of cultivators and turns them into ordinary people. Grinding teeth. These rules and regulations bound people to death. In this aspect, humans were far worse than the devil realm. It was really uncomfortable to be unable to do things freely. I suggest you think of a way to find the antidote for the panacea first. Let Yenran deal with the internal affairs of the cultivation world. Humph, it's my fault. How can I let Yenran work so hard again so easily? Xiao Xiao carefully looked at the list of companies attached to the letter. Among them, the most profitable were an entertainment company and a technology company. One step at a time. Let's find the panacea first. Xiao Xiao narrowed his evil eyes. A gust of demonic energy on his finger directly pierced through a glass decoration on the opposite wall. With a click, it fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Chapter 197. Under Zhang Deyang's meticulous management, Xiao Zhao's company was flourishing. Xiao Xiao looked at the constant flow of money in his account. He was really amazed that a sports student's brain could actually do business. Zhang Deyang smiled foolishly and said, "Brother Xiao, you are very popular. If I hug your thigh, sooner or later, I will be able to call the wind and summon the rain, and be a superstar. But Brother Xiao, shouldn't we expand our business scope? You see, we mainly relied on selling your peripherals and autographed photos. These are all small businesses, and the bank flow is rising by 3 digits. We don't even know when we will be able to pay back Uncle Wu's money. We are still far from our goal. So I think, Brother Xiao, you can develop in the field of advertising and endorsement. I have already helped you contact a few companies, and they are interested in recruiting suitable advertising spokespersons. I showed them your information, and they are very interested. What do you think? I am here to be the chairman. Have you seen any chairman personally go to the field? Brother Xiao, times have changed. Now, it is all the big bosses who do live broadcast endorsements. If you want our company to make money, you have to do it. I can only help you. And if you don't do it, won't it be a waste of your face?" Xiao Xiao rolled his eyes at him. "My face is for Yenran to see. If Yenran likes it, it will not be a waste." Before he finished speaking, Xiao Zhao's phone rang. When he saw that it was Yenran calling, he felt a burst of happiness in his heart. He picked up the phone and heard Yenran say, "Zhang Deyang said that he wants you to shoot an advertisement. I think it is good. The sooner you make money, the sooner you can pay back Uncle Wu, and then you will be debt-free." Xiao Xiao hung up the phone, looked at Zhang Deyang, and slapped him on the head. "Who is the chairman of this company?" Zhang Deyang covered his head. "Brother Xiao, of course you are the chairman of this company, but the lady boss is Yenran. How can you not listen to Yenran?" Ever since Zhang Deyang knew that Xiao Xiao and Yenran were together, he was glad that he had a good relationship with Yenran at that time. Now he knew that Yenran was definitely the one in charge at home. As long as Yenran said to go east, Xiao Xiao would never dare to go west. This was a habit he had developed in school. After all, Yenran was a straight-A student and Xiao Xiao was a flunky. There would always be psychological trauma. Fine then. Go take a look at what kind of advertisement it is. Don't get in too much of my way. Xiao Xiao crossed his long legs on the chairman's desk. It was decided then. Brother Xiao, the second thing is, are you and Professor He going to enter a competition for the gaming helmet you invented? If it is a hit, then you will be the spokesperson for the helmet. Xiao Xiao had no objections to this. They had designed the helmet themselves, so of course he would be the spokesperson. Xiao Zhao's lab had come up with a very advanced product. It was a holographic helmet that would allow the person wearing the helmet to experience the game. Xiao Xiao had high hopes for the helmet to begin with. He had personally experienced it, and it was absolutely superb. Is there anything else? I still have class in the afternoon. Also, let me introduce a few people to you. Zhang Deyang pressed the secretary's call button, and soon 2 people came in. Xiao Xiao took a look. Hey, they were old acquaintances. One was Juqi, the other was Xiao Xiaoyun, and the other was actually the loudmouth Ma Xiaoxian. Why are you here? Xiao Xiao asked in surprise. Hello Chairman Xiao, we came because of your reputation. We want to follow you and realize our family's fortune. One is my personal photographer, one is my personal makeup artist, and the last one is the class's radio station. Okay, your brother Chow is going to shoot the advertisement soon, so I'll leave the photographer, makeup artist, and promotion to you. I promise I'll complete the mission. Juchi looked at Chow Xiao, whom she hadn't seen in a long time. Brother Chow, I've noticed that you're becoming more and more devilish as you grow up. I want to change the photo on my bedside table to the current you. It's okay to put my photo, but don't have a crush on me. Let me tell you, you already have a sister-in-law. Chow Xiao proudly announced to the 3 old classmates. Ma Xiaoxian immediately said, "We already knew. Is it Sister Yenran? Only Sister Yenran is worthy of Brother Chow. We all have high hopes for you." When Chow Xiao heard that he and Yenran were praised, he felt as if he had eaten honey. Everything was easy. It seemed that Zhang Deong was good at managing the company's affairs. He was a talent. Zhang Deong also praised himself. The most important thing is to use people. You must know them well, they must be reliable, and they must be professional. I've long had high hopes for Juchi and Xiao Xiaoyun. One is a ghostly makeup artist, and the other is a talented photographer. Brother Chow, they will be responsible for all your image and styling in the future. I will definitely make you the top person in the business world. Zhang Deong arranged a yogurt advertisement for Chow Xiao. Originally, companies would choose entertainment stars for these advertisements. After all, they had the faces of celebrities. They would appear on TV more often, and they would be known by everyone. However, there were many entertainment stars now. There were only a few top celebrities. The rest took turns to be the banker, but the price was not cheap. Chow Zhao's identity was very special. He was the champion of the street dance competition and the new favorite of the IT industry. Moreover, this company was interested in sponsoring the street dance competition. Ever since Chow Xiao won the street dance competition, it had set off a craze in the country. It was so good that advertisers were fighting to squeeze in. There were only so many advertising slots, and it was difficult to squeeze in all of them. Therefore, this yogurt company found another way. The materials sent by Zhang Deong hit it off with their idea. However, if they wanted to change the spokesperson, they would naturally touch the original celebrity spokesperson's cheese. The original spokesperson's name was Jia Luo, and he was an artist under Gentian Entertainment. He had filmed a few popular TV series, and he was always the second male lead. In one of the less popular TV series, he was the first male lead. He was neither big nor small in the entertainment industry and could be considered a celebrity. Chow Xiao looked at the words Jotian Entertainment Company and narrowed his eyes. This was the most profitable entertainment company under the name of the Eastern aristocratic family mentioned in Hua Gang's letter. Originally, he did not care much about it. Now, it seemed that he was determined to get it. Previously, Jialuo was the spokesperson for this yogurt advertisement. However, when he heard that they wanted to change the spokesperson this year, his company was immediately unhappy. Why do you want to change the spokesperson? Did our Jialuo not perform well before? If you want to change the spokesperson, give us a fair chance to compete. This time, the yogurt company was in a difficult position. Jialuo's company was an old entertainment company. It was still very influential in the industry. It was understandable for them to fight for opportunities for their artists. The yogurt company had to change their method. They found a few interested spokespeople to compete with each other. The script was the same. They just wanted to see which one acted better. The company also invited several expert judges to come and give their marks to notarize. When Zhang Deong heard that the election method had changed, he directly complained to the person in charge of the yogurt company. Are you choosing an advertising spokesperson or an acting spokesperson? That celebrity has acted before. He must have his strong points. The person in charge of the yogurt company had a bitter face. We have no choice. We are afraid of the power of capital. After all, you are a small company. You are not that famous. However, we still hope that you can be selected because you are the most compatible with our philosophy. We also have to tell Xiao Xiao to encourage him. At this point, Zhang Deong had no choice. He could only bitterly talk to Xiao Xiao. He didn't expect Xiao Xiao to be so narcissistic. He waved his hand and said, "What are you afraid of? This advertisement will definitely be mine." Brother Qiao was still the original Brother Qiao. He was crazy and cool. He was like this in school. Who knew that he would still be like this in society? "Alright, tell me the exact time. I will go there directly." Just as they were waiting for the final interview, a topic suddenly appeared on the internet. #Jaluo is expected to continue being the spokesperson for a certain yogurt. #Jaluo had quite a number of fans. He was from a boy band and was popular. In addition, he looked pure and cute, so he gained a large number of fans. After a few years, he had a certain level of popularity in the entertainment industry. When the news came out, the fans were excited. Another suitcase. Luoluo deserves it. Basket that loves to fight. I wish Luoluo a new endorsement. Passers-by, I wish Luoluo a new peak in life. Beauty is so cool. If Luoluo's endorsement is successful, I will drink this brand of yogurt for a year. Flowers bloom all over the city for you. Luoluo has both looks and substance. I wish Luoluo a new city. It was as though this endorsement was already in Jaluo's pocket. Zhang Deong looked at the posts on the internet and felt unhappy. He complained to Qiao Qiao, "These entertainment companies know how to make use of their fans to create hype. Let's just create more. We will see their downfall." Qiao Xiao didn't care. He was very confident in his ability. These were all small matters. The only thing he was worried about was that Yen Ran hadn't spoken to him for more than a week. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of the competition. Many fans gathered at the entrance of the yogurt company. They held the brands of their favorite celebrities in their hands. They looked around and all of them were Jaluo. None of them were Qiao Xiao's fans. After all, Qiao Xiao wasn't very famous in the entertainment industry. Also, Qiao Xiao didn't reveal a single word about the competition online. These people found out about the news from a few accounts under Jaluo's company. Hence, they all went to the entrance of the yogurt company to wait. They wanted to get closer to their idols. At 9 a.m., Qiao Xiao was informed to go for the interview. Zhang Deong asked the driver to drive an extended Cadillac. He also brought Xiao Xiaoyun, Jiaqi, Ma Xiaoxian, and 2 bodyguards, which fully showed Xiao Zhao's superstar status. When they arrived, it was almost 8:50, but they were shocked by the crowd at the scene. "Brother Qiao, did your fans get the news from somewhere?" Jiaqi asked in surprise, but Ma Xiaoxian immediately denied it. "I did a good job of keeping this event confidential. I just thought that after Brother Qiao got the endorsement, I would publicize it widely. How could anyone know that it was a dark horse?" Sure enough, when the car drove closer, they saw Jaluo's billboards everywhere. It turned out that they were all Jaluo's fans. Zhang Deong couldn't help but sigh. Fans these days aren't picky at all. I've seen that Jaluo before. He's pretty and knows how to dance. He debuted in a boy band, but he's completely different from our brother Qiao. When the fans saw an extended Cadillac driving over, they thought it was Jaluo's car and quickly surrounded it. The security guards at the door couldn't stop them. Xiao Zhao's car couldn't drive anymore. Chapter 198. The fans around the car had already started to look through the window. Fortunately, the Cadillac's glass was specially set. People outside couldn't see inside, but people inside could see outside. Zhang Deong and the others saw faces pressed against the car window. Qiao Xiao could even hear them saying, "Jaluo changed cars today. It's so high-end." The fans who were a little further away started to shout Jaluo's name in unison. "Brother Qiao, they're treating you as Jaluo." Ma Xiaoxian was a little speechless. The security guards pulled the fans away with great difficulty. Only then could the door of the Cadillac be opened. The first to come down were Jiaqi and Xiao Xiaoyun. They heard the fans outside say, Did Jalua change the people beside her? I've never seen these people before. Then Ma Xiaoxian and Zhang Deong came down. The fans were even more confused. Who was this? The few of them lined up on both sides of the car door. They stood straight, and the superstars' row immediately opened. A fan at the side muttered, "Jalua's extravagance today is a little too big. It seems like she attaches great importance to this advertisement." At this moment, a die-hard fan in the back row squeezed through the crowd. After a lot of effort, she finally squeezed to the front of the car door. She couldn't stop in time and was about to rush into the car. Zhang Deong and the others were quick and pulled her up. At this moment, a long leg just happened to step out of the car door. The die-hard fan raised her head and met a pair of deep and charming eyes. She maintained her posture and froze. Her heart beat faster and faster like a drum. Her whole body floated up and flew higher and higher with the rhythm of the drum. She crossed mountains, rivers, and thousands of miles just to catch a glimpse of her beauty. "Please move aside, thank you." A gentle voice like a cello sounded in her ear. A pair of slender and well-defined fingers gently touched her arm. Then, two long legs walked past her. She raised her head and looked up at the immortal who was like a god descending to the mortal world. The sun shone on his body, as if he was plated with a layer of golden light. He was holy and noble. Her legs gave way and she fell to the ground. Juchi quickly helped her up. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Who was that just now?" The die-hard fan had yet to find his soul and asked as if he was in a trance. "That's Qiao Xiao. Qiao Xiao, Qiao Xiao." She wanted to engrave this name in her mind. She wasn't the only one. When the surrounding fans saw that it wasn't Jalua who walked out, but another tall, leggy man with a peerless appearance, they were all stunned. Qiao Xiao's beautiful face had a roguish smile. He looked around and smiled. He used a bit of demonic qi to make his face more three-dimensional. He then patrolled his territory like a king, and the people around him were his people. All the people around him were bewitched by his smile. They couldn't help but put the Jalua sign behind them. His peerless appearance made them hold their breaths. They even had a feeling of wanting to surrender. Was this a god descending to the mortal world? The fans standing outside didn't know what was happening inside. Suddenly, the surrounding environment became quiet. They saw a man with a golden ratio striding towards the building of the yogurt company. 4 people followed closely behind him. The people around him didn't crowd around him anymore. It was as if they were immobilized. They just stared at the man's back in a daze. Only when the man disappeared and the car drove away did the fans wake up. Who was that? Who was that? Why haven't we seen him before? Did I see a god just now? His appearance is really rare in the world. Only the die-hard fan Jing Shu retracted her dazed gaze and said to the people around her, "His name is Qiao Xiao." "Qiao Xiao? Is he really Qiao Xiao?" I know, he was the champion of the street dance competition 2 years ago. He is even more handsome in real life than on TV. Oh my god. I actually saw the real person. A fan in the back row was excitedly stomping her feet. Jing Shu desperately tried to recall the news about Qiao Xiao in her mind. She felt that the name was familiar. After being reminded, she also remembered. He was the champion of the street dance circle 2 years ago. Her heart beat faster. She wanted to go back quickly and search for all the news about Qiao Xiao. Jing Shu quickly squeezed out of the crowd and left the scene. The Jalua sign she was holding was already thrown to the ground. "Jing Shu, where are you going? Jalua will be here soon." A girl in the back saw her leave and quickly called her. But Jing Shu's mind was filled with Qiao Xiao's face and his voice. Jalua in her mind had become a code name. She waved her hand and disappeared in the blink of an eye. After a while, Jalua's nanny van finally arrived. The fans who stayed at the scene saw Jalua get out of the van and greeted them with a smile. They didn't know why, but they didn't feel as excited as before. It was as if they had just eaten a sumptuous meal and saw any exquisite dishes again. They already felt a little disgusted. Although the sign in his hand was still waving, the excited expression on his face was no longer there. His handsome face was still there, but the more you looked at it, the more ordinary it seemed. Jaluo felt a little strange. Usually, his fans were 3 circles inside and 3 outside. It was so crowded that not even a drop of water could trickle through. There were constantly people who wanted to talk to him and give him gifts. But today, there were obviously fewer people. And his most hardcore fan group leader, Jing Shu, didn't seem to be among them. He waved his hand awkwardly and quickly walked into the building of the yogurt company. The security guard at the door immediately said, "Disperse. He has already gone in. We don't know when he will come out. If you want to wait somewhere further away, then wait." A few fans looked at each other. Do we still want to wait? Let's go back first. Let's see what kind of person Xiao Xiao is. The security guard was so happy for the first time. It seemed that the fans were becoming more and more rational. After taking a look, they went home one after another. Originally, more than a dozen security guards were transferred today. Their consideration was a little unnecessary. Then, a post appeared on the internet. It was unknown which fan wrote it. The suspense of the yogurt endorsement audition increased. Who will be the winner between Xiao Xiao and Jaluo? There were a few photos of Xiao Xiao and Jaluo entering the building below. One was calm and steady with a strong aura. The other was full of smiles and looked a little awkward. From the photos, it was obvious who was better. They thought that Jaluo's fans would be one-sided on the internet. But they didn't expect that when the post came out, there wouldn't be much response. Even the most aggressive fan group leader, Jing Shu, was silent this time. Today's audition was arranged on a small stage. The script had already been given to the 2 contestants. The main thing was to act out the sour and sweet characteristics of yogurt. They had to act out the feeling of first love. Although Xiao Xiao had never acted before, he seemed to be self-taught in this aspect, just like dancing and sports. Moreover, he had the feeling of being in love for the first time. He had just experienced a vigorous relationship with Yen Ran. This was simply tailor-made for him to act in his true colors. After reading the script, he threw it aside and didn't take it to heart anymore. Until today's audition, Zhang Deong hadn't seen him practice. Although it was out of blind worship for Brother Qiao, Zhang Deong was still a little worried. At this moment, he was walking back and forth backstage, waiting for Xiao Xiaoyun to put on makeup for Xiao Xiao. Zhang Deong looked at Xiao Xiao's 2 long legs on the low stool under the dressing table, swaying non-stop. He looked very casual. He couldn't help but rub his hands and ask tentatively, "Brother Qiao, do you want to read the script again and familiarize yourself with the lines?" Xiao Xiao glanced at him. "Don't you trust your brother Qiao?" "No, I just went next door to take a look. Jaluo is quite experienced. After all, she has filmed many TV series. She is still reading the script seriously now. That's a piece of cake for me. You can rest assured." Xiao Xiao looked at himself under Xiao Xiaoyun's hands. His eyes were more three-dimensional and deep, and his thin lips were like fresh lychees. He couldn't help but praise, "Xiaoyun, your hands are getting more and more ghostly. I'll let you down if I don't fall for it." Then, Xiao Xiao thought about when to meet Yen Ran with this makeup and vowed to charm her. Zhang Deong saw that Xiao Xiao was not nervous at all when he looked left and right in the mirror. He had no choice but to go outside and get close to the people of Youku Company. This company was indeed rich and imposing. The 3 judges they invited were all very professional people in the industry. One was a senior host, one was a professor at the film academy, and the last was a well-known director. Zhang Deong immediately went forward and handed over his business card as if he had seen his biological parents. The director looked at the business card and said, "I've never heard of this company." Zhang Deong immediately smiled and said, "Although our company has just been established, our chairman, Xiao Xiao, will definitely satisfy you." When the host heard this, he became even more interested. "Are you talking about Xiao Xiao? Was she the champion of a street dance competition? I've met him once before, so it's a coincidence that I came here today. He's still a student, right? Is he in university now? Has he already started his own company? The younger generation will surpass us in time. Zhang Deong was overjoyed. Yes, it's that Xiao Xiao. He's now a second-year student in the computer science department of Nanchuan University. Please take care of him. Then, he said to the director and professor next to him, I've seen this Xiao Xiao a few years ago. He's righteous and capable. I've long felt that he was suitable for the entertainment industry. Now that he's grown up, he's really here. The two of you can take a good look at him. He's definitely a good seedling. It turned out that this was the senior host of Lu Hui's birthday party, Han Ming. Today, he was invited to be a judge. He did not expect to meet Xiao Xiao, whom he had not seen for a long time. This treasure boy had always been someone he had been paying attention to. He had not heard any news about him for more than 2 years. He did not expect to meet him today. Han Ming did not have any thoughts about today's audition, but he had always wanted to pull Xiao Xiao, a good seedling, into the entertainment industry. This was a good opportunity. Not long after, the two contestants had finished their makeup and were ready to officially start the audition. Chapter 199. According to the drawing order, Jialuo was in front, while Xiao Xiao was behind. The two met when they were drawing lots. Jialuo looked fair and delicate, like an obedient boy, which was quite popular in the entertainment industry. However, when Jialuo saw Xiao Xiao, he was instantly shocked. This guy's appearance was much better than his own. Originally, he had heard that his opponent had never acted before, so he had some confidence in this audition, but now he couldn't help but worry. The script required them to act with an imaginary girl. At first, the two of them had a little conflict, and then the boy used yogurt to coax her. In the end, the two of them reconciled as before. The imaginary girl on the set was a teddy bear half the height of a person. Jialuo took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. A few spotlights lit the stage as if it was daytime, and the background wall was fresh and elegant with grass and blue sky. In the suburban park, there was a white table and a few stools placed under a large light pink umbrella. Jialuo was dressed in white, with only a light green straight stripe on the collar of his shirt. His youthful aura had overflowed the stage. He walked to the teddy bear's side, patted the bear's shoulder, took out a yogurt from behind him, shook it in front of the teddy bear, and then fed it to the teddy bear's mouth. There were 3 words written on the yogurt. I was wrong. Then, Jialuo picked up the teddy bear and walked off the stage together. Jialuo's agent clapped desperately. The whole scene was very pleasing to the eye, and Jialuo's story was also very complete. He looked eagerly at the judges. After Jialuo stepped off the stage, he looked nervously at the judges. He thought that his performance was not bad, and there were no major mistakes. The plot design was also creative, but unfortunately, their expressions were indifferent, and there was no special expression. Perhaps the judges were all like this. It was Xiao Xiao's turn to go on stage. The setting, costumes, and props were the same as Jialuo's, but there was something different. Xiao Xiao was half a head taller than Jialuo. The white clothes that Jialuo was wearing seemed to be of a higher grade on him. A face that was born to be on stage, shining like jade under the lights. From all angles on the stage, he was so perfect that he didn't look like a real person. At this moment, the young ladies around the stage could be heard involuntarily exclaiming, "So handsome!" Xiao Xiao stepped onto the stage with his 2 long legs, and then slid down to kneel beside the teddy bear like a robot. Then, Xiao Xiao's whole body seemed to be electrified, from his waist all the way up, from his chest, shoulders, forearms, and finally to his wrist, the back of his hand, fingers, and fingertips. His slender and perfect fingers turned up, and with a twist of his palm, a small and delicate box of yogurt magically appeared in the center of his palm. Xiao Xiao stared into the teddy bear's eyes, as if this was his most beloved Yanran. "Baby, you are just like it, the treasure in my palm." The affection in his eyes overflowed the whole audience, and the light in his eyes accumulated the brightest stars in the sky. The staff watching the scene were shocked. His eyes were affectionate, sexy, and seductive. Coupled with his slightly pouted thin lips, it made people think that his next sentence would be, "Baby, will you marry me?" Zhang Dayong's little heart thumped as he was teased to the point of being dumbstruck. He muttered, "Brother Chow is going against the heavens." Then, Chow Xiao spun the yogurt in front of the teddy bear, raised it to his mouth, and kissed the straw. As if to induce, his thin lips opened slightly. "Follow me," then, like a robot, he slid off the stage. Everyone's eyes followed Chow Xiao as he left, and some young ladies even reached out to take the yogurt in Chow Xiao's hand. It was unknown who took the initiative to clap, but more and more applause followed. Especially the girls at the scene, they were so excited that their eyes were glued to Chow Xiao's body. Some of them even had tears of secret love in their eyes. He was the Prince Charming in their hearts. He had satisfied all the young ladies' fantasies of love. They really wanted to turn into a teddy bear sitting on a chair. Even if it was only a doting glance, it was enough for this life. At this time, Jaluo's mouth was also wide open. She didn't expect that acting could be done like this. He could dance and act coquettishly, but how could he do it so seductively and so naturally? He was simply the god of love sent by the heavens. Which girl could resist him? After Chow Xiao came down, the few people accompanying him were so excited that they burst into tears. "Brother Chow, you're so awesome. That teddy bear is so happy." Juchi stomped her feet on the spot and screamed silently with her hands clenched into fists. Ma Xiaoshuan's eyes were also filled with stars. Sister Yanran was really so happy. Chow Xiao was also quite satisfied with his performance. "Who recorded it? I'll send it to Yanran later." At this time, the judges finally had smiles on their faces. Han Ming was even more excited. He said to Director Lin next to him, "See, I wasn't wrong, right? This is a treasure boy. The essence of the advertisement has been deeply portrayed by him. If you want a story, you have a story. If you want acting skills, you have acting skills." With that gaze, if this image isn't popular in the entertainment industry, my Han character will be written upside down. "Old Han, I've never seen you so excited, but this young man is really good." Director Lin also narrowed his eyes and looked at Chow Xiao standing next to him. He waved to the staff next to him, indicating for the two contestants to come on stage. "I'd like to ask the two contestants, have you been in a relationship before?" This question was really quite private. When it was asked by Director Lin, the people around them were so excited that they pricked up their ears. Jaluo answered honestly, "I haven't." However, Chow Xiao boasted shamelessly, "I have a very good girlfriend. I want to marry her immediately." The male compatriots at the scene cheered for Chow Xiao's courage, while the female compatriots at the scene were heartbroken. Han Ming and Director Lin both praised Chow Xiao in their hearts. He was an honest child. In the entertainment industry, there were many who hid their relationships in order to increase their popularity. They didn't expect Chow Xiao to be brave enough to admit it. It was rare. Then what kind of feeling do you think this advertisement is trying to express? Jaluo said, "This is a yogurt advertisement. It's supposed to express a sour and sweet feeling of love." Chow Xiao thought for a moment. "I want to express the feeling of spoiling a girl to the heavens. I think more girls will like to drink it this way. It represents a kind of hope that their boyfriend will treat them like a treasure." The person in charge of the yogurt company nodded repeatedly and was very excited. "This is what we want to achieve. Most of the people who drink yogurt in this market are girls. If we only let them feel like they're in love, they might try it. But if we let them be spoiled to the heavens, then I think they'll be addicted." The girls at the scene all nodded fiercely. Chow Xiao was right. Chow Xiao said what the girls were shouting in their hearts. "What I want is the feeling of being spoiled to the heavens." Without any suspense, Chow Xiao was chosen to be the spokesperson for this advertisement. Jaluo was convinced. He grinned at Chow Xiao and said, "I lost to you because I don't have a girlfriend that I love very much." When Han Ming left, he held Chow Xiao's hand and didn't let go. "You're in college now. There are some things you need to plan. After this advertisement, you'll definitely be popular. I'm a little regretful that I didn't sign you earlier." But now that you have your own company, there will be plenty of opportunities for us to work together in the future. You must put my case first. Chow Xiao said modestly, Mr. Han, thank you for your love. I still have a lot to learn. I'm still in my second year of college. The general manager, Zhang Deong, will take care of the specific company matters. Mr. Han, you can ask him directly if you need anything. Zhang Deong was very excited at this moment. He had taken a big step on the road to mining. He immediately went forward and compared Han Ming to a second parent, which made Han Ming laugh. Later, the final spokesperson for the yogurt advertisement was announced on the internet, Chow Xiao. Zhang Deong also officially announced this on the official Weibo of their Star Sky Technology Entertainment Company. Previously, Zhang Deong had accumulated a lot of fans by selling Chow Xiao's autographed photos. Now that there was an official channel and Brother Chow's fan club had officially moved here, the fans who received the news lined up in a long line under the official Weibo as if it was a festival. Frowny face gluten that loves to eat dumplings. Official announcement, Brother Chow has officially entered the entertainment circle. Waves with you. Brother Chow is about to officially open for business. My old mother who has been waiting for many years finally sees Brother Chow open for business. Sand sculpture crossing the river. Finally, I can see Brother Chow all the time. Just thinking about it makes me want to cry. Walking snow, entertainment circle, tremble, Brother Chow's golden spear iron horse is coming. Pandora's box. Haha, I seem to have seen the glory of Brother Chow occupying the major lists. Big frog at the bottom of the pit. I want to jump out of the pit and see the world of the entertainment circle. I only need a pair of sports shoes. Whoever gives me a pair of sports shoes, I will sell Brother Chow's autograph photos to you at a high price. Little jar that loves to photograph. Brother Chow, we will definitely make you the top of the entertainment circle. Jiao Chow, Brother Chow, we will definitely make you the top of the entertainment circle +1. Loudmouth small broadcast. Brother Chow, we will definitely make you the top of the entertainment circle +1. Brother Chow's fan club. Brother Chow, we will definitely make you the top of the entertainment circle +1. Just like that, Chow Xiao officially entered the entertainment circle from the moment he took on his first advertisement. Just as Chow Xiao's fans were celebrating across the country, another post suddenly appeared on the internet. Hashtag Jalua Yogurt's endorsement was intercepted by an unknown Chow Xiao hashtag. Then, the post listed Chow Xiao's experience and Jalua's experience, questioning how a person who had never acted before could snatch the endorsement. The meaning was very obvious, hinting at a shady deal. There were countless comments below. Frowny face, take another suitcase. Lualua was framed? She was replaced by a newcomer? Basket that loves to fight. Is there some unspeakable deal? A newcomer who started from a young age. Why is he suddenly so arrogant? Passerby, what's the inside story? Let's find out if there's any inside story. Clear the past. Would anyone watch an advertisement made by a person who has never acted before? Go back and wash up before sleeping. Although the doubts did not cause a huge wave, there were still quite a few waves. At this moment, Chow Xiao was happily testing his new helmet in the laboratory. Chapter 200. Under Professor He's leadership, Chow Xiao and his classmates were able to maximize the creativity of the entire lab. Chow Xiao's contributions were undeniable in this regard. Professor He had set the research topic, the people in the lab had divided up the proposals, and as the most important link, Chow Xiao had been responsible for the integration of the ideas. The little tadpoles in his brain had found a new direction to work towards. The lab wanted to create a brand new gaming helmet. Wearing the helmet would make players feel as if they were actually in the game. It would no longer be a 2D game, but a fully immersive experience. Professor He was also beyond happy. This is the world for you youngsters. As long as you have a good time gaming with this helmet on, then it's a success. They had been busy applying for a patent for the next 2 days. After that, they would attend an expo to officially launch their helmet. This will definitely create a sensation in the gaming world. The friends in the lab typed excitedly on their keyboards and moved the mouse like crazy. They enjoyed the different gaming experience that the helmet afforded them. Xiao Zhao's only regret was that the helmet was too heavy. It added a bit of burden to his head when gaming, but when it came to actual combat, this regret was long forgotten. Bang! With the sound of a gunshot to the head, Xiao Zhao took out a person. Looking at the explosion in the person's skull, blood sprayed into the air. It was as if Xiao Zhao had relived the exhilaration of cutting down a crystal core with one stab inside the battle array. As if in resonance, Xiao Zhao's phone also lit up with red fireworks. A missed call from Zhang Dayong. Xiao Zhao removed the helmet and picked up his phone. He walked out of the lab and swiped the answer button. "What's wrong, Big Yang?" "Dayong, do you miss your brother Qiao?" "Yes, I've been missing him." "Brother Qiao, someone is defaming you." Zhang Dayong's rapid speaking speed reflected his inner anxiety. "It's not the first time your brother Qiao has been slandered." "Which bastard is it this time?" "It's still about the yogurt advertisement. The PK between you and Jia Luo was hyped up as news. They said that a newcomer like you was able to win the advertisement. There must be some dark secrets behind it." Zhang Dayong quickly explained the ins and outs of the matter. Xiao Zhao didn't really care. He had obtained it with his own ability, so he wasn't afraid of others talking about it. However, these haters were really annoying. Who was the one who was adding fuel to the fire behind the scenes? This was a question worth pondering. From what I saw at the scene, Jia Luo doesn't seem like a scheming person. I think it's probably his backing company, Jiuqian Entertainment, that's behind him. After all, they are a big company and have a certain amount of influence in the entertainment industry. As college students who had just entered society, this really taught them a very cruel lesson. Xiao Zhao didn't know the uproar on the internet. He was still preparing for his evening date. After class, he went directly to the flower shop at the gate of the school and ordered 999 roses. He held a big bouquet in his hands, which almost covered his face. He was thinking about the most romantic combination of flowers, wine, and music in the evening. The location must be at his house. Everything was convenient. Xiao Zhao smiled wretchedly in his heart. The flower shop wasn't very far from where he parked his car. Xiao Zhao held the flowers and walked forward step by step with his head down. He took a shortcut and turned into an alley. After another turn, it was where his car was. At this time, there was no one in the alley. Xiao Zhao hummed a song and walked slowly with his two long legs. Suddenly, a kind of pressure came from behind. Xiao Zhao was too familiar with it. It was a kind of pressure, but the strength was still shallow. For him, it wasn't even enough to scratch an itch. He snorted and quickly condensed the devil's qi on his back. His straight and sexy back immediately became an iron wall and directly reflected the pressure. There was a sound of ah, and a person fell from the wall of the alley next to him. Xiao Zhao turned around, still holding the roses in his hands. He squatted down and looked at the man who fell from the wall. He was about 25 or 26 years old, had a crew cut, and there was a trace of blue gas on the top of his head. A pair of eagle-like eyes stared at Xiao Zhao in disbelief. "Who are you?" "You're a cultivator." It wasn't a question, but a statement. Ever since Xiao Zhao's spirit attraction technique reached large success, his devil's qi and spirit's qi had already merged into one. It was impossible to see any devil's qi on his body. "You know the truth. Speak, why did you attack me?" Xiao Zhao's mouth pulled into a smile. He was finally no longer treated as a devil by these cultivators. "Which family are you from?" The Blue Profound Realm cultivator continued to ask. "I'm a lone ranger. I don't belong to any family. Why did you attack me?" Xiao Zhao looked at the man on the ground and closed his mouth, not wanting to speak. "If you don't speak, I won't be polite to you." Xiao Zhao flipped his right hand and a ray of devil's qi attacked the man's neck. The man immediately couldn't breathe. His eagle-like eyes were opened wide and had already turned into an owl's head. He kept waving his hand and said to Xiao Zhao, "Spare me, spare me." I can spare you, but I'll ask you one last time. Why did you attack me? If you don't answer well, you know the consequences. Qiao Zhao's slender fingers drew across the man's neck. The man looked at this shockingly handsome boy. Although that right hand was good-looking, it was like a life-threatening rope that was strangling his neck. In the face of strength, he had no room to resist. He could only wave his hand and point at his throat, indicating Qiao Zhao to let him go. Qiao Zhao let go of his finger and heard the blue profound man say, "I'm from Jiutian Entertainment. Because you stole our artist's endorsement, the company sent me to talk to you." Talk? Is this how you talk? When Qiao Zhao heard that it was a little demon from Jiutian Entertainment who came to cause trouble, he couldn't help but be angry. He waved his hand and wanted to strangle him again. The blue profound man hurriedly explained, No, I was just too excited. The company sent me to see if I can persuade you to give up this endorsement." Qiao Zhao narrowed his eyes. "Is this endorsement very important to you?" The threat was obvious. The blue profound man looked into Qiao Zhao's eyes, which were abnormally cold. His heart kept trembling. If he didn't tell the truth, he didn't know what would happen to him in the next moment. He could only tell the truth. "Yes, Jialuo is our company's star. The yogurt company is an important strategic client. The annual endorsement fee is not small. The company values this client very much. We can't lose this client." "Oh, what's the condition?" "We'll give you some financial compensation." The blue profound man swallowed his saliva under Qiao Zhao's dangerous gaze. He felt that Qiao Zhao's aura was too strong. His body seemed to be releasing some pressure involuntarily, making him feel that the surrounding air was thick silk. "What if I don't agree?" The blue profound man lowered his head and didn't speak. "Then will you beat me until I'm convinced?" Qiao Zhao's words were incomparably cold. The blue profound man's body trembled like a sieve. "Did you do business like this before? How did practitioners become the lackeys of capital? Is there no such thing as fairness in this world?" Qiao Zhao was furious. He waved his hand at a small tree on the side of the road and chopped it in half. Then, he watched the small tree catch fire. The blue profound man was stunned. This strength killed him instantly. Then, he looked at Qiao Zhao with eyes full of worship and fear. Qiao Zhao didn't care about the blue profound man's psychological changes. He gave him a few more punches. "Go back and tell your boss that this world is fair. If you have the ability, do it openly. I'll beat up these crooked people every time I see them." The blue profound man couldn't think anymore. He could only hold his stomach. "Hero, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I'll go back and tell him." Qiao Zhao faked another punch at the blue profound man. He was so scared that he curled up into a ball and closed his eyes. Scram! The blue profound man didn't dare to stay any longer. He got up from the ground and ran away in fear. Qiao Zhao looked at the undamaged rose in his hand and curled his lips. Jackals of the same tribe. Chapter 201. Old Yi, my men messed up this time. That Qiao Zhao is too strong. I'm not his opponent at all. The general manager of Jiutian Entertainment, Ming Tian, reported to Old Yi with cold sweat. "Oh, I remember this Qiao Zhao. Someone said that he was haunted by demonic energy. Xuanfei also liked him. How is it now?" Old Yi was trimming the flowers with a pair of scissors. "He's not haunted by demonic energy, but my men said that he's also a cultivator and is quite strong." "How did you know that he has demonic energy?" Old Yi asked disapprovingly. "I heard that it was Hua Gang who told me, but it was proven to be false. My men said that he doesn't have any demonic energy and is full of righteous energy. Now it seems that he might be a cultivator outside of the aristocratic family. Could it be that last time Hua Gang was beaten up by Qiao Zhao?" Old Yi stopped what he was doing and began to think. "What's his cultivation level now?" "My men said that they can't tell, but they feel that he's at least in the virtualization stage." Old Yi suddenly raised his head. His eyes were shining brightly. He didn't hide his thirst for talent. Then how are you going to deal with your company this time? Old Yi continued to ask. It might be a bit difficult. After all, we've already auditioned. The momentum on the internet is still in our favor. But if Xiao Xiao doesn't take the initiative to quit, the yoga company won't take the initiative to replace him. Then I'll take this opportunity to curry favor with this Xiao Xiao. Think of a way to make friends with him. It's a pity that such a master is outside. Old Yi put down the things in his hands and walked out quickly. He wanted to find someone to understand this Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao carried his 999 roses and went to pick up Yanran. The two went home together. Xiao Xiao looked at Yanran's fair face, which looked tender and beautiful under the reflection of the roses. He liked her more and more. One day apart felt like 3 years. He truly understood the meaning of this sentence. He had already informed Uncle Wu to prepare a big meal. Yanran hadn't been to his house for a long time. He also brought the newly designed helmet home and wanted to show it to Yanran later. This was the result of his work during this period of time. He was like a child who had achieved some results and was looking forward to the teacher's praise. Yanran pursed her lips and smiled at him. How old are you? Do you still need others to affirm you? But Xiao Xiao didn't care. He just needed to get Yanran's affirmation. Yanran didn't hesitate to press her thumb on his forehead. Our Xiao Xiao is the best. Then Xiao Xiao played the video of the audition that day to Yanran. Yanran, do you know why I acted so well? I regarded that teddy bear as you. You are the treasure in my palm, so naturally, you are vivid. Yanran looked at Xiao Xiao's affectionate eyes in the video, which was exactly the same as his usual coquettish behavior in front of her. She took the initiative to put her arms around his neck and left a kiss on his lips. You are also the treasure in my palm. Xiao Xiao wouldn't let her go. The shallow kiss couldn't relieve his endless yearning at all. The two instantly rolled together on the sofa. Today, Xiao Xiao wasn't in a hurry. He tasted Yanran's little face and mouth carefully and slowly smacked. He was like a bad boy who tempted to commit a crime, vowing to pull the woman he liked into the trap he had set. Xiao Xiao had put the long line and pulled the big fish, gradually causing Yanran to tremble a little. He didn't know whether she was seducing him or he was seducing her. In the intertwining, every part of her body became sensitive, and every silver thread became smooth. Xiao Xiao activated his magic and gradually became presumptuous, attacking Yanran's little mouth wantonly. Yanran was still conscious at first, but she soon abandoned her armor and surrendered. She could only sway back and forth in the cradle with Xiao Xiao's attack. The temperature in the room was getting higher and higher, and Yanran and Xiao Xiao's faces were flushed red. It was unknown whether it was the heat brought by the magic or the heat created by the two of them. Xiao Xiao withdrew from Yanran's little mouth and looked at the dazed Yanran. Her eyes were like a lake in spring, and the waves had reached the blue sea and blue sky. Xiao Xiao was almost drowned in her eyes. Oh, Yanran, my Yanran. Xiao Xiao muttered to himself. He buried his head in Yanran's neck and calmed his rapid heartbeat. He rubbed against Yanran's neck like a puppy, rubbing and rubbing until he was on fire. The skin on Yanran's neck was shockingly hot. He turned his head and saw Yanran's small and exquisite earlobe by his mouth. The earlobe was like a hook, hooking him involuntarily and drawing him closer. Xiao Xiao felt like a hungry wolf who saw a snow-white rabbit. It was lustrous, small, and chubby. The only thing he could do was to pounce on it. Xiao Xiao felt his mouth and tongue dry. He boldly prayed in his heart, Yanran, please don't wake up. Then he pounced on the rabbit he had been drooling for a long time. Yanran was still immersed in the sudden pause of the storm. A trace of aftertaste streaked across her body. She blushed and didn't dare to open her eyes, but the trembling of her eyelashes betrayed her throbbing at the moment. This guy was too good at seducing people. Just a kiss was enough to make her heart shake. If someone asked her how many points she would get for this kiss, if it was a perfect 10, Yanran would get 20. Yanran wailed in her heart. It seemed that in the future, Xiao Xiao would have to make the decision in this aspect. Xiao Xiao didn't know that Yen Ran had such a high opinion of him. He wrapped his two sexy thin lips around his delicacy. The hot breath blew on Yen Ran, making her moan comfortably. Xiao Xiao didn't know what Yen Ran did, but Yen Ran suddenly shrank back. Her body seemed to have been electrocuted, and her two ears instantly burned. Xiao Xiao, don't. Yen Ran wanted to push Xiao Xiao away and cover her ears. It was too embarrassing. But Xiao Xiao was about to get his hands on the rabbit. How could he let go? He grabbed Yen Ran's hand and kissed it. The gaze he looked at Yen Ran was so hot that Yen Ran's face turned red. Xiao Xiao came up again and sucked on the rabbit, showing the true colors of a hungry wolf. Ah! Yen Ran couldn't bear it and cried out. She quickly covered her mouth. She really didn't think that such a shameful sound would come from her mouth. Xiao Xiao's bones turned soft from this cry. His lips and tongue worked harder. Yen Ran had never felt that she was so sensitive. Her body was weak. She wanted to push Xiao Xiao away, but she couldn't muster any strength. This demon crown prince wanted her life. Xiao Xiao was so excited that he couldn't control himself. His entire mind was focused on this jade rabbit. He brought Yen Ran and madly ran across the vast grassland. The entire world belonged to the two of them. There was no one to disturb them. The only things that accompanied them were the blue sky, clear water, and green grass. Yen Ran was so stimulated that she began to shake her cute little head left and right. She couldn't help but open her mouth and gasp for breath. She wanted to avoid Xiao Xiao's crazy attacks, but the rapid gasps in her mouth gradually turned into moans. Xiao Xiao's eyes turned red from Yen Ran's appearance. How could he let go of the delicious food in his mouth? He used more strength. He prayed in his heart that Yen Ran wouldn't scold him. Then, he closed his eyes and disregarded everything. He channeled his demonic energy and was about to go to the place he yearned for more. Ah! Yen Ran suddenly let out a gasp. No! At this moment, a burst of urgent ringtone rang loudly in the room. Xiao Xiao was so frightened that he abruptly stopped his movements. Yen Ran didn't know where she got the strength from, but she pushed him away and sat upright on the sofa like a primary school student who was listening attentively in class. However, her messy hair, untidy clothes, crimson cheeks, and fluttering eyes betrayed the panic in her heart at this moment. Xiao Xiao slumped on the sofa. He suddenly closed his eyes and looked at the phone that had been thrown to the ground. The three words Zhang Deong were flashing crazily on the screen. F*CK. I've never wanted to kill someone so much. Xiao Xiao picked up the phone, slid it to answer, and shouted into the phone, "You better have something urgent, or I'll blacklist you." After a long while, Zhang Deong's uncertain voice came from the phone. "Brother Xiao, is that you? If it's not me, then who is it? If you have something to say it quickly. F*CK, Brother Xiao, did you eat gunpowder? Why does it sound like you're not satisfied? Grinding teeth. Yes, it's the dissatisfaction of being interrupted by you. What's the matter? If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up." Xiao Xiao fiercely panted. Yen Ran finally returned to normal. She snatched the phone. "Zhang Deong, don't worry about him. If there's anything, tell me." Zhang Deong understood now. It turned out that Yen Ran and Xiao Xiao were together. He scratched his head. It seemed that he had ruined something good. "Sister Yen Ran, I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were doing. I called to say that the public opinion on the internet seems to be better. I think it'll calm down soon. You don't have to worry anymore." Yen Ran was embarrassed. What did he mean by doing that? It seemed that Zhang Deong had been led astray by Xiao Xiao. She cleared her throat, as if she didn't understand, and said directly, "Release Xiao Xiao and Jaluo's audition video and directly slap them in the face." "I've seen the audition video. Xiao Xiao's level is definitely higher than Jaluo's. As long as it's released, no one will doubt Xiao Xiao's acting skills anymore." "Okay, Sister Yen Ran, you're thinking the same thing as me. I'm about to do that. Xiao Xiao saw that the two of them were talking endlessly, and immediately snatched the phone back. Is there anything else? I'm hanging up. Then, without waiting for Zhang Deyang's reply, he hung up without any explanation. He turned to Yen Ran and was about to pounce on her to continue the unfinished project. Yen Ran stretched out her right hand and blocked his chest that was about to crash into her. Then, cold and calm words floated out of Yen Ran's mouth. Xiao Xiao only had one feeling, which was that she was serious and serious. Before marriage, it's limited to the range of lips. In the future, you're not allowed to cross the line. If you cross the line again, I'll cancel all your benefits. After hearing that, Xiao Xiao really wanted to plug his ears. He looked at Yen Ran bitterly. At this moment, he felt that life had completely lost its meaning. Chapter 202. Zhang Deyang posted the audition video online through Star Sky's official Weibo and quickly attracted the attention of Jialuo's fans. Originally, they had been paying attention to Xiao Zhao's movements on the internet, waiting for an opportunity to correct their Jialuo's name. Some of Jialuo's fans had seen Xiao Xiao at the yogurt company's entrance, such as Jing Shu. She was wavering between Jialuo and Xiao Xiao. One of them was a little fresh meat that she had watched grow up. As a fan, she had always paid attention to him. On the other hand, the other person was like a ray of light that had suddenly broken into her life. It was as if a hole had suddenly been torn open in the sky that had been covered by dark clouds. The sunlight instantly shone on the earth, making her seem holy and pure. In fact, she had already come to a conclusion in her heart. Her heart was already biased towards the new love, but there was still a kind of moral restraint that made her feel a little guilty for her old love. This was the only time she didn't charge and break through the front lines for her idol online. She had already written a long article that should be published regularly, but the protagonist had changed. Looking at some people on the internet slandering Xiao Xiao, she was skeptical, but she didn't fight for her idol. A person with such a face must have an advantage in the audition. She was just eager to know the audition process, so that she could finally decide who to add the last weight in her heart. After waiting for a long time, the video was finally released on Star Sky's official Weibo. This was what she wanted. Jing Shu couldn't wait to open the video, as if it was the answer that would determine her heart. The video was very short, less than 30 seconds. But after watching it, Jing Shu was stunned for a long time. You are the treasure in my palm, like a magic spell that kept circulating in her mind. After an hour, after a full psychological struggle, her long article was finally published. And at this moment, she made the best decision in her life. As a senior fan who had been in the entertainment industry for many years, a big shot who was familiar with the various rules of the entertainment industry, she wanted to work at Star Sky. She wanted to be close to her idol, and she wanted to make her idol the top of the entertainment industry. Since the audition video of the two people was released, the comments on the internet finally began to lean towards one side. Take another suitcase. My heart is racing and I'm sick of these sweet nothings. Basket that loves to fight. This face, this gaze, this rising star in the entertainment industry. Passers-by. Luo has lost wholeheartedly. We admit defeat. Past reset. For the sake of this treasure, I've been buying yogurt for my girlfriend for the past year. Blooming all over the city for you. Buying it means pampering her. The implication of this advertising message is that if you don't buy it, you won't pamper her. Who dares to not buy it? He didn't expect that not only did Xiao Xiao become popular, but even the yogurt company became popular in advance. Very soon, Xiao Xiao finished shooting the official advertisement. Accompanied by music and images, as well as a shy and sweet girl, they successfully became the sponsor of this year's street dance competition. The organizers were very regretful that Xiao Xiao did not participate in the competition this year. However, he participated in the competition in the name of an advertiser. This also helped to promote the street dance in advance. The official video of the street dance competition also focused on this advertisement. Xiao Xiao finally entered the eyes of the entire country. Xiao Zhao's famous quote and his big face were printed on the Tetra Lux packaging of the yogurt. In supermarkets all over the country, it had entered people's lives in an overwhelming manner. The happiest was the yogurt company. Their orders were already lined up until next year. The sales had increased by 30% compared to last year. This profit was more than 100 times more than the advertising fee they gave Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao's status in the entertainment industry had skyrocketed. Yi Xuanfei, who was far away in Northern University, was already a popular figure on campus. She was sexy and seductive and had already gained a group of male fans. What they liked the most was the little star on her belly button. No matter how cold the weather was, Yi Xuanfei would reveal it. As her slender waist swayed when she walked, it was faintly discernible and attracted the attention of many boys. At this moment, Yi Xuanfei was sitting in the classroom. Opposite her was a boy with an extremely flattering smile. The boy was saying something, but Yi Xuanfei was only looking at the box of yogurt on her table in a daze. The boy who gave her the box of yogurt imitated Xiao Xiao's voice and said sweetly, "You are the treasure in my palm." Yi Xuanfei's thoughts had already drifted far away and she didn't hear what the boy was saying. Looking at the picture of Xiao Xiao on the box, the memories of the past flooded her mind. She hadn't seen him for more than 2 years. 2 years ago, Xiao Xiao's betrayal had broken her heart. Ever since he came back, she would refresh Nanchuan University's cheba several times a day. Looking at the boy she loved and hated, and sometimes there would be a picture of Yanran beside him. The two of them were smiling happily and Yi Xuanfei was about to go crazy with jealousy. Why did Xiao Xiao like her so much even though she didn't have any spiritual power? Was Yanran born to be her nemesis? There were countless boys who chased after her at Northern University, but none of them could compare to Xiao Xiao. She tried to forget him. She hadn't heard from him for 2 years and she thought she could forget him. But the moment Xiao Xiao appeared, the love that had been engraved into her bones burst out like lava and couldn't dissipate anymore. The boy waved his hand in front of Yi Xuanfei's eyes. "Xuanfei, wake up. What are you thinking about?" Yi Xuanfei snapped out of her daze and looked at the boy in front of her. She said, "I have something to do, I'll take my leave first." After speaking, she took the yogurt and turned to leave. The boy behind her wanted to chase after her but Yi Xuanfei waved her hand and stopped him. She had just walked out of the classroom when her phone rang. Yi Xuanfei saw that it was old Master Yi and quickly picked it up. "Xuanfei, do you still remember the boy you liked in the past called Xiao Xiao?" Yi Xuanfei's heart skipped a beat. Grandpa was like a roundworm in her stomach. How could he know everything she was thinking about? She looked at the yogurt in her hand. Xiao Xiao was blinking his left eye and seemed to be smiling mischievously at her. She cleared her throat. "Grandpa, I remember. What's wrong?" According to our preliminary understanding of this Xiao Xiao, he seems to be a cultivator outside the system and his martial arts are quite high. I remember that you had a good relationship with him in the past. Do you still keep in contact with him? Yi Xuanfei opened her mouth in shock. "Grandpa, what did you say? Xiao Xiao is also a cultivator? I've never seen that before." "Yes, Huagang once said that he had demonic energy. But after our investigation, he is a cultivator who has already reached the higher void stage. There must be some conflict between him and Huagang, so he deliberately framed him. Huagang once said that someone beat him up. I'm guessing that it must be Xiao Xiao." Old Master Yi directly told Yi Xuanfei his judgment. Yi Xuanfei's initial disbelief turned to joy. Could it be that he had a fortuitous encounter in the Yin-Yang formation? From an ordinary person to an expert in the higher void stage? "Grandpa, what do you want me to do now?" "What I want you to do now is to restore your relationship with him. Try your best to win him over to our Eastern aristocratic family. It's a pity that such a talent is outside. Don't you like him? Xuanfei, Grandpa believes that you can win him over with your charm." Grandpa's words touched Yi Xuanfei's heart. "Grandpa, are you saying that I can be with him now? Weren't you against it before?" "He was just an ordinary person before. How could he be worthy of you? But it's different now. Grandpa will support you fully, but you must make sure that his heart is with our Eastern aristocratic family. He seems to be in a relationship with Yenran now. It's up to you how to win his heart." Yi Xuanfei's heart pounded wildly. Her life seemed to be full of vitality again. With Grandpa's support, she would definitely succeed. "Grandpa, what should I do now that I'm so far away? Don't you have exchange students in your 3rd year?" "I'll help you apply for an exchange with Nanchuan University. That'll take a long time, ha 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 ha, my granddaughter can't wait anymore? If it's you, you won't be able to run away. We can take advantage of this time to observe carefully. Grandpa, Chow Xiao has already entered the entertainment industry. Did you see the yogurt commercial? He endorsed it. He's really getting better and better." Yi Xuanfei couldn't suppress her pride anymore. It was as if Chow Xiao was already in her pocket. "I know about this. He even defeated one of our artists from Zhoutian Entertainment. The younger generation will surpass us in time. You have to work hard. There must be countless girls who like him. I don't think it'll be difficult for you to defeat Yenran. But there are so many girls in high positions who might compete with you. You have to be mentally prepared." After Yi Xuanfei hung up the phone, she couldn't suppress the excitement in her heart. She raised the yogurt in her hand and kissed Chow Xiao's face twice. Then, she opened her arms and spun around twice. An indescribable excitement made her run around the school. The wind that she brought along was as loud as her mood at that moment. A gentle breeze brushed past her cheeks, just like Chow Xiao's hand. The tall school building in the distance seemed to reflect Chow Xiao's smiling face. At this moment, it was as if he was welcoming her with open arms. Chow Xiao's career began to flourish. Ever since their company recruited a person called Jing Shu, Zhang Dayong's power increased. Jing Shu quickly rose from a small assistant in the public relations department to Zhang Dayong's right-hand woman. There were countless people who wanted Chow Xiao to participate in various activities and commercial performances. His hands were sore from receiving endorsements. But Chow Xiao and Zhang Dayong said that he was still in school and didn't have that much time. If there were artists from Zhoutian Company who wanted to compete with him, they would call him over. Jing Shu was a little puzzled by their chairman's lazy behavior. But ever since Chow Xiao and her long face-to-face chat, she still felt dizzy when she walked out of the office with a folder. Her boss smiled at her and she could only nod. Everything the boss said was right. How could the chairman appear in public every day? Then what would the subordinates do? So, Jing Shu devoted herself to the battle of recruiting artists under Star Sky Company. Chapter 203. Although Chow Xiao declined a lot of endorsements, his popularity in the market did not decrease. Taking advantage of this, he began to vigorously promote their laboratory's gaming helmet. After he and his team applied for a patent for the helmet, he began to plan a tour of universities all over the country. Chow Xiao had already studied the technology company under the name of the Eastern aristocratic family, and it just so happened that it overlapped with their main business. Their research team had also been studying the business of gaming helmets. Previously, they had even launched a helmet-like device, but because of its poor performance, it did not cause a sensation in the market. However, before a better helmet was launched, they still had a large share of the market. What Chow Xiao wanted to do was to use their helmets to completely replace Zhoutian Technology's original equipment and completely destroy this company. His current goal was very clear. He was going to attack the Eastern aristocratic family. Before the spiritual transformation pill was found, the Eastern aristocratic family would have to wait and see. Today, their team came to Northern University. Star Sky Company directly rented the school's auditorium. Chow Xiao's personal helmet poster and Yi-La Bao were placed all over the campus. On the Yi-La Bao, Chow Xiao was wearing a full set of game character equipment. His slender and beautiful figure was clearly visible. Under his left arm was a cool helmet, as if he was a cool player who walked out of a game. His right index and middle finger were extended from his forehead to the upper right. His expression was arrogant. At first glance, it was clear that he had a domineering aura of, with the helmet in hand, the world is mine. On campus, many students took pictures with the Yi La Bao. When they learned that Xiao Xiao was coming to the auditorium, the whole school went crazy. Countless posts were posted on the school's Tieba. This was the only celebrity in the entertainment industry who had only shot a commercial and became popular. However, his appearance and talent had long been deeply rooted in people's hearts. Following him was Jing Shu. This girl took charge of everything and arranged everything in an orderly manner. She was willing to do anything for her idol. Jing Shu, the students at the entrance have already blocked the auditorium's entrance. There are 3 layers inside and 3 layers outside. Will there be any accidents? Several students from the school's student union came to help. When they saw the scene, they couldn't help but be speechless and began to worry. Don't worry, I've already made a report in advance. The police are already on their way. They will come to maintain order. Jing Shu, the wind outside is too strong. Many of the Yi La Bao have been blown over. What should we do? Hurry up and ask the students on the Cheba forum to help and tie up Xiao Zhao's Yi La Bao with ropes in every corner of the school. Jing Shu, the frame of the gaming helmet looks unstable. It's going to fall down soon. Jing Shu saw it and quickly went forward to fix it, but at this moment, a gust of wind blew, and the tall helmet rack fell down. Just as Jing Shu was about to squat down to hold her head, a strong force came from behind her. She was slammed to the side, and the rack where the helmet was placed seemed to be held by a huge hand. It swayed a few times before stabilizing and staying still. Jing Shu looked back and saw her boss, Xiao Xiao, looking at her with a smile. Be careful. You've worked hard. After saying that, he strode with his long legs and walked into the auditorium backstage with a group of people. Jing Shu's heart felt warm. She didn't know how Xiao Xiao did it, but she knew that this godlike boss had saved her. The only thing she could do to repay him was to work harder. Shake hands. She quickly ran out and made sure every detail was in place. Northern University had a long history, and the auditorium looked relatively simple. For the sake of the effect of this lecture tour, Xiao Xiao and the others directly got a LED floor tile display that covered the entire auditorium's corridor. It extended from the entrance to the stage, and the background wall and both sides of the stage were filled with electronic screens. The whole scene was beautiful and full of a sense of technology. The lights flickered in all directions, shining on every student's amazed face. If the big screen under their feet created a fantasy realm for the game, then the 3 big screens in the front of the auditorium brought the audience into the world of actual combat. Passionate music rose and fell one after another. Their fingers involuntarily tapped on their bodies, and their footsteps became lighter. The passion in every cell was aroused, and the preheating effect of the entire auditorium was raised to the extreme. #F***CK. Is this a real-life experience? ## I heard this helmet is so fun to play with, it's already sold out. ## Is the effect really that good? Compared to the one from Jiutian Technology, if only it's half a stack. ## With Xiao Zhao's endorsement, there are so many people here. Are they here to see the helmet or the treasure in their hands? ## Is technology so advanced now? Our school's laboratory doesn't seem to have developed it yet. Is Nanchuan University that awesome? #. Different voices could already be heard before the event started. However, at a glance, the entire venue was indeed divided into 2 groups. One group was here to see Xiao Xiao, and the other group was here to see the helmet. The titan of the IT field, Professor Wang, was also invited to this event. His Tarzan was also standing at the entrance to welcome the guests. It had been a long time since he saw Xiao Xiao, and Professor Wang was extremely envious of Professor He. I've seen your last disciple a long time ago, he's bound to shine. My daughter brought boxes of yogurt home a long time ago, and now she'll be bringing boxes of helmets home too. Professor He was already grinning from ear to ear. I'm just here to oversee things and see you. Xiao Xiao and the others did all this, and it seems to be true. This research project was also inspired by them. They're young people, after all, so they like to play games. These little things won't make it to the big picture. Professor Wang, you're researching key national projects. Key national projects, how can it be so easy to research them? There's so little talent. I really want to steal Xiao Xiao from you. That won't do. You can choose anyone you want when you apply for grad school, but Xiao Xiao is a treasure boy. I'm not letting you have him, ha ha ha. The two men joked around as they sat down in the front row. The lecture tour was about to begin. At 9:59:50 in the morning, the auditorium was already full of people. Even the LED screens were filled with students. At that moment, all the electronic screens began to emit fireworks. There was a countdown of 10 seconds, and the sound system in the auditorium was turned to the loudest. 10, 9, 8, 7. The students standing in the corridor felt like they were walking on clouds. The fireworks lifted them up, and the colorful lights changed on their faces, illuminating everyone's eyes. There was a girl sitting in the second row. She had long wavy hair, exaggerated round earrings, and a sharp little face. Her entire face was charming and sexy. Because she was sitting down, only her upper body could be seen. Under her short denim jacket was a tight t-shirt that accentuated her small waist. The front of the shirt was tied in a knot in front of her, and a little blue star hung from her belly button. Under the light, it shone with a faint blue light. At that moment, the girl was sitting up straight, her eyes bright, eagerly looking at the stage. She held a box of yogurt in her hand, and a handsome guy on each side of her was talking to her. Xuanfei, it wasn't easy to get this seat. Look, there are still so many people standing. Luckily, I'm doing well in the student union, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to squeeze in. But at that moment, Yi Xuanfei was indifferent. She was about to see Xiao Xiao, whom she hadn't seen for almost 3 years. Her heart didn't belong to her anymore. After the last 0, the screen turned black. After 30 seconds of waiting, the game interface appeared on the screen. There were a few handsome guys in full sets of high-end equipment, holding Gatling guns, rolling, jumping, and shooting one person. The two sides were fighting very fiercely, using all kinds of obstacles to dodge. One of them was especially skilled, and with every shot, it was obvious that he was the commander-in-chief. His team became more and more courageous as they fought, suppressing their opponents to the point that they couldn't raise their heads. The sound effects of the live venue were very good, and the battle scene in the game was vividly reproduced. The live audience's blood was boiling, and they felt as if they were in the game. They really wanted to go up and have a good time as a player. With a turn, a sniper shot was aimed at the commander-in-chief. As if he had eyes on the back of his head, he dodged the sniper shot and did a beautiful front roll, taking advantage of the momentum to lie on the ground. He raised his head, and using this position, he threw the gun in his hand behind him. A bullet flew out, and with the "ah" sound, an opponent fell to the ground. So cool. Then, another sniper shot followed, and some of the audience started shouting, left, left, back, and back. They were so nervous that their hearts were about to jump out of their throats. They saw the commander-in-chief roll on the ground and hide behind an obstacle. With a few jumps, he jumped to a high place and saw clearly where the sniper was hiding, and a grenade fell silently. Then, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he sneered. He leisurely carried the gun and left. His right hand was still holding the number 321, and with a bang, it exploded. Wow, so cool. Before everyone was satisfied with watching, the game finally stopped. The commander-in-chief, who was dressed exactly like the one in the game, walked to the center of the stage. He took off the helmet on his head, spread his legs, and raised his right hand high above his head. Do you want to fight with me? Put on the helmet, and let me take you flying. Passionate music sounded, and 8 professional dancers ran up the stage. The commander-in-chief, Xiao Xiao, hung the helmet in his hand on a hook in the air. Then, he stood at the front and led a group of people, and started to dance crazily. The atmosphere of the venue was hyped to a climax. Countless girls were screaming below the stage. Xiao Xiao's cool dance moves, devilishly charming face, and roguish smile were all stimulating the hearts of the young boys and girls. The big screen had already projected Xiao Xiao in real time. His every expression, every blink of his eyes, and even his slightly pouty lips were magnified to infinity. His passion radiated in all directions, and he was incomparably charming. After the dance ended, Xiao Xiao stretched out his right hand, took off the helmet hanging in the air, and held it in his right hand. The music stopped, and Xiao Xiao's voice sounded. "Baby, you are the treasure in my palm." The girls in the audience went crazy, and Yi Xuanfei was no exception. She was so excited that her eyes were brimming with tears, and the seats were already redundant to her. Other than the rostrum, everyone in the audience stood up and cheered. It wasn't until Xiao Xiao got off the stage and the soothing music started that the restless hearts of the young boys and girls gradually calmed down. Chapter 204. Xiao Xiao had completed his mission. He had maximized the audience's anticipation, and now it was up to Professor He and his classmates to introduce the helmet's functions. Jing Shu ran to Xiao Xiao's side, her eyes sparkling as she said, "Boss, you're so cool." Xiao Xiao smiled faintly and instructed her, "If a girl comes looking for me later, tell her I'm busy and won't be seeing anyone." Jing Shu was troubled. "Boss, there will be a lot of girls looking for you later." "Which one is it?" "It's a girl with a belly band. The others are all fans. Tell them nicely." Jing Shu was touched. She used to be a fan herself, so she understood how fans longed to see their idols. One gentle and considerate sentence from their idols was enough to make them excited for a long time. It would be like their love had been realized. As for the girl he had specifically requested, she was sure her boss wouldn't like. Was she an obsessive fan? Then, as the #1 person who had helped her boss overcome all obstacles in his career, she would be duty-bound to help him. The stage in the auditorium was now introducing the helmet's functions. Listening to the awestruck gasps in the audience, it was clear that they were very satisfied with the helmet's functions. Xiao Xiao had already tested it himself. Of course, he knew how impressive the helmet was. It was so impressive that he was certain they would be able to monopolize the market in no time and take over Zhoutian Technology in one fell swoop. 3 months ago, Zhoutian Technology entered a booming month. The general manager, Ming Tian, was also the general manager of Zhoutian Entertainment. He was beaming with joy every day because the sales report in his hand was tilted at a 45-degree angle to the upper right. This was the sales report for their flagship product, the gaming helmet. They mainly sold to retail customers. Zhoutian Technology had always been the leader in the field of gaming helmets. They had the largest market share. Although he knew that it wasn't perfect, there were still some technical barriers that weren't easy to overcome. With the current technology, they were already the best. Ever since Ming Tian lost Jialuo's endorsement to Xiao Xiao, he lost the yogurt company, which was a strategic client. This caused his annual income to suddenly drop by a chunk. This forced him to find a way to recover it from some part of it. Zhoutian Technology was also his company. In the Eastern aristocratic family, because of its good performance, he was the most powerful general manager. The other general managers of the other companies had to bow and greet him as President Ming. It was really like a pillow being sent to him when he was sleepy. The rising sales curve made him finally see hope. "President Ming, the company has encountered an unprecedented problem," the sales manager reported respectfully. "Tell me about it." "Happy events have been happening one after another." "What other difficulties are there?" "Our inventory is no longer enough to support the online orders. Now, our original processing factory can't handle such a large volume. They said that if they wanted to rush the delivery, they would have to hire more people to work on the production line. The cost would be huge. Is the deposit we gave them not enough?" Tomorrow couldn't help but frown. This was really a headache. If they couldn't deliver the goods on time, the online orders would be floating in the sky. They said that the deposit is not enough to buy the production line, and they hope that we can pay in full. This pack of hungry wolves that can never be fed. Have you investigated the scene? The manager of the purchasing department went with me. The situation is true. They have been working overtime, but the original production line has been running for a long time. The production capacity is fixed. Only with the new production line can the production efficiency increase. How much can the efficiency increase? If it's not on the production line, it might take half a year to 10 months to deliver the goods. If it's on the new production line, it can be delivered in 3 months. 3 months. Can the online customers wait? They are all game enthusiasts. According to the customer service feedback, as long as they can deliver the goods, they can accept the higher price. They can also wait for a while. Ming Tian assessed in his heart. The deposit paid online would not be transferred to their account temporarily. If the factory wanted to pay in full, they would have to pay first. Is it possible to get a loan from the bank for a few months? Tomorrow continued to ask. The finance manager immediately said, the bank must have a mortgage for this kind of working capital loan. They hope that we can mortgage our office building to them. They said that they can immediately make the payment. In terms of interest rates, I have already negotiated the lowest price with them. The benchmark interest rate is 20%. Where did these customers come from? Ming Tian still had a trace of doubt. Why did their helmet sales have been stable before, but these few months there was an explosive growth? We've already checked. They were all purchased from different IP addresses across the country. We've analyzed the reason. Perhaps it's because the esports industry has been relatively popular recently, so it's driving the sales of our helmets. The sales manager told the reason he guessed. Alright, to ensure that the sales go smoothly, you can discuss with the factory. We can only pay 80% of the money to help them on the production line, but we must ensure that the production period is completed within 3 months. If they can't do it, they can forget about working with us in the future. Purchasing manager, you have to think about it again. Find more manufacturers that we can work with. We can't be tied down by them alone. Ming Tian made the final decision. The purchasing manager suddenly broke out in cold sweat. Yes. We have worked with a few companies before, and this company's product quality is the best. After a long time, we have become partners with them. We will definitely find a way to work with a few more suppliers. There can only be development when there is competition. You should think about this. There is also the finance manager. You go and talk to the bank about a 3-month working capital loan. Sales manager, there must be a return after 3 months. I don't want to lose our office building. In Starsky's luxurious office, Ma Xiaoxian looked at the rising orders excitedly. Zhoutian Technologies helmets are out of stock. Our brother Chao's program is really invincible. Their customer service has been telling us that it will take at least 3 months for the delivery. They asked if we were willing to wait, and I told them to wait. It doesn't matter if it is a bit expensive. Haha, wait until Brother Chao's helmets hit the market. You can just wait and cry. Xiao Zhao's gaming helmet's first tour was quite successful. Their price was also relatively cheap. $588 for lifetime maintenance. The site directly received nearly 3,000 orders. Originally, after the tour, the students thought that they were going to disperse, but they didn't expect that Xiao Xiao would actually sell it on the spot. As long as 1 helmet was ordered, they could take a photo with Xiao Xiao. If 2 helmets were ordered, they could also get a signed photo. Thus, the long line outside the auditorium went on until night time, and Xiao Xiao was also very dedicated to cooperating to take photos and sign autographs. Everyone who ordered a helmet went back to play it and felt that it was worth the money. It was many times better than the original Zhoutian Technology helmet on the market. Coupled with Xiao Zhao's signed photo, they could hug it to sleep and hang it on their bed. They were so happy that they wanted to bubble. Xiao Xiao worked until night time and finally finished. He was also a bit tired, so he reclined on the auditorium seat to rest. At this time, a girl's excited voice came in. Why can they all see it, but I can't? Xiao Xiao dug his ears. The voice was a bit familiar. He remembered and sneered. The fish had finally taken the bait. Jing Shu carried out her duties seriously. As a young miss, how could Yi Xuanfei be willing to queue behind the long line? She wanted to sneak backstage a few times, but she was stopped by the serious and vigilant Jing Shu. The boss was talking about her. When Jing Shu saw the navel ring, she immediately confirmed it. Her sense of mission was bursting, and she resolutely defended the boss, blocking Yi Xuanfei outside the auditorium for an entire day. When the sale outside was over and Xiao Xiao returned to the auditorium to rest, Yi Xuanfei couldn't hold it in anymore and started shouting at the door, quickly attracting a crowd. Xiao Xiao heard Yi Xuanfei shouting at the door, "Xiao Xiao, I'm Xuanfei, don't you remember me?" At this time, Jing Shu was even more certain that this was an obsessive fan, so she spoke even more impolitely. "This student, the boss needs to rest. You've seriously interfered with the celebrity's private life. If you continue to make a scene, I'll call the police to arrest you." When had Yi Xuanfei ever been angered like this? She immediately released a wave of spiritual energy and pushed Jing Shu to the side, then rushed into the auditorium. Jing Shu felt a pain in her body and rolled on the ground. Seeing that Yi Xuanfei had disappeared, she hurriedly got up and followed. Yi Xuanfei rushed directly to Xiao Xiao, squatted down, and was about to lay on Xiao Xiao's legs. Xiao Xiao didn't have any pity for the fairer sex. He directly raised his knee and pressed it against Yi Xuanfei's shoulder. "Hey! Who is this?" "Young Miss Yi, long time no see, how can you be so polite? I can't accept it." With that, he stood up and moved to the side. Looking at Jing Shu who had rushed in, he asked, "Are you okay?" Jing Shu hurriedly replied, "Boss, I'm fine. I'm sorry, I didn't stop her." Yi Xuanfei felt wronged at this moment. "Xiao Xiao, we're friends after all, you're more polite to me than to her. Do you think I should be polite to someone who attacks my subordinates for no reason?" With that said, he waved at Jing Shu and left. Yi Xuanfei was anxious and chased after him. Okay, it's my fault. "Xiao Xiao, don't go, I have something to say to you." Xiao Xiao looked at Yi Xuanfei who was blocking him. He lowered his head and stared into her eyes. "What do you want to say? Do you want to say how you harmed Yanran?" Yi Xuanfei was shocked when she heard this. Could it be that Xiao Xiao knew everything? But Yanran probably didn't know that she was the one who did it. Yi Xuanfei hurriedly explained, "Xiao Xiao, this is a feud between the eastern and southern families. It has nothing to do with me, you can't blame me." "Who asked you to be the princess of the eastern family? If I don't blame you, who else can I blame?" You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.